It's you?
It's you?
It's you!
Yeah.
Hi guys, welcome to my top 50 movies of the year. I got a little green screen now. I'm gonna try to use this for future streams. It's still Christmas. It's still December. This video is probably gonna go out in January for all I know. I'm trying to get it out as quickly as possible. Hence, the format is a little different than like my previous video, the top 15 video game rankings. This is top 50 movies, all new 2025 releases. No script. It's off the dome. A lot of these movies I haven't seen in like 11 months or so. You know, the criteria was it had to have come out this year. That's all. It's a little more personal. You know, I might talk like an idiot for some of these rankings, but some people think that anyway, so it's all good. So anyway, we got to get started right away. I hope you guys like this kind of thing, because I think it should be easy for me to get out fast. And it should be fun. It's all good. It's not like this is going to be the new thing. I'm just doing this once because I saw that I watched 50 movies exactly that came out in 2025, and I rank them all every year. So I'm like, why not try it? Why not see where this goes? Maybe people are like, oh, cool. I like movies. Maybe people are like, oh, we talked about movies. I don't care. And also 50 is a lot. If I take 2 minutes to talk about each of these, we're approaching 2 hours. So we should get started. This is my official letterbox. You could follow me. I'm Lazan on Letterboxd. I'll link it if you want it, if you care. Whatever. I always rank all these stuff and I have a bunch of ratings. So if you hate my video game opinions, get ready to click on any movie you want and see my rating right there and go like, how the F did he rank it that? But anyway, yeah, let's get started. Number 50 is War of the Worlds starring Ice Cube. Of course it is. Of course it's a half star. I'm not hearting this. No way. So this was kind of the big make fun of movie of the year. This and Minecraft. I didn't watch Minecraft. That's not coming on the list. Sorry. I'm imagining it would be one place above this. It was the movie everybody was like, oh, this is like so bad it's good. Bring everyone together, laugh at a movie, and it's... Yeah, there are some funny parts, like when he says, it's you? It's you? That part's funny, but if we're being honest, this movie is bad in the bad way. It's really just miserable. For the rest of it, super boring, insulting to your intelligence. It was filmed during COVID, and for some reason, they waited 5 years to put it out. They allegedly kept passing it from editor to editor, saying, can you fix this? Can you make this work? And they were all like, no, it's an advertisement for Amazon. How are you expecting to make this entertaining? And then, you know, they're just like, whatever, we have it, let's throw it out. And I think Amazon made a bunch of money because this made rounds. People were talking about this movie, making fun of it, but still giving Amazon money for it. And that just makes it all worse. I love that Ice Cube's job in this movie is literally just, he can click on anything and like get all the information from it instantly. He can overlook a city, click on it, look at that camera, and then through the camera, find a person, click on the person, get all the information on the person, and see their phone and just hack into their phone. And just like, it's all just magic nonsense. And then there's like no budget for the actual effects, which COVID you have no excuse for. You could have had effects. You could have had people animating stuff. No, it looks like trash. It's just awful. And no, I wouldn't recommend it even as the bad good movie. Holy crap, we gotta go. Number 49, Fixed, by Genndy Tartakovsky. Genndy's my boy. I'm a Genndy stan. I stan Genndy ever since Dexter's Lab, baby. But this, what are we doing with this? This was, now you notice I gave it a whole extra star above Ice Cube's War of the Worlds. And that's because the animation is pretty good. And there were a couple of genuinely funny, like they wrote jokes that were funny. But this movie was even more painful to watch than Ice Cube. Ice Cube was boring. This was like, ew, get this away from me. So the joke, you can see the description right there. A dog is going to get neutered. He wants to have his last 24 hours free. If you remember the hot dog movie, what was that movie? Sausage Party? Where it's like, it's animated, but it's for adults. So every single joke is about sex. That's this. Again. But it's 2D animated, and it's really good animation. It is. It honestly is. But there's only so many balls in your face you can take. I mean, it's... And the more you read up on it, it's like he's been trying to make this for 14 years or something. Like, this is a dream project that he couldn't do, I guess, until he got... I thought he's always been a big name in animation, but apparently it took forever. Sony, like, said no to this or something. Or did it end up at Sony? Something like that. And you know Sony, they make the Emoji Movie. Like, they do that stuff. They eventually got it out on Netflix. And it was really rough. I never want to watch this again. And like, this guy's running off. He just made Primal. He's making Primal Season 3 coming out soon. And he made another show on Cartoon Network that didn't really go anywhere, but it was pretty cool. Unicorn Overlord. Eternal Overlord. I'm thinking of a game called Unicorn Overlord. What's the show? It was pretty cool. Anyway, this sucked. Don't watch this. Don't watch it. Not even if for the animation. Don't watch it. Number 48, Drop. Just as good as Fixed. Now, you can watch this. This is not going to disgust you, but I actually laughed at this for being bad more than anything this year. So that give it a little credit for that. You can laugh at this movie. This movie's about a girl who goes on a blind date and gets an airdrop from her phone. Like, somebody sends her a picture, and it turns out that guy's evil. And he says, "You better kill your blind date, or else I'll kill your kid." And this has similar logic to the Ice Cube movie, in which basically the guy with the phone can do literally anything he wants. His phone is a magic... He's a hacker, so therefore he basically has magic powers for anything related to digital. He hacks anybody's phone. It looks like everybody's in on it. And he can send her a stream of him, like, creeping around the house. "I'm gonna get your kid." And stuff. Anyway, the whole movie is like her debating, should I kill this guy that I've never met before? Who's here? Is the guy messing with me here, but he's at the house? Is this a team of people? And it just escalates into more and more stupid situations. So yeah, it is kind of funny, but it's like just a bad Blumhouse. I think it's Blumhouse horror movie. So you kind of know what you're gonna get. My sister made me watch it on a plane. We were flying home together. She was like, "It's got Drop." And I was like, "Oh, all right." Okay, we're moving up already to 2.5 stars. This is 50%. Jurassic World Rebirth. Now we're entering the really nothing interesting to say bad. Like, those last 3 were kind of like, there's a funny thing here. The animation, or just like the overall disgustingness of War of the Worlds, the icky marketing and stuff. This is just Hollywood slop. I really don't need to say much else. Kind of too high a rating. I think I should maybe adjust that. But Jurassic World Rebirth is... I can't even remember. So, like, part of it was a family stranded on the island, and then the other part of it was Scarlett Johansson and the team trying to get some kind of material from the dinosaurs there. And they just roam around. And it's... how long is it? Over 2 hours. And it amounts to nothing. The dialogue is the same crap you see in every movie. I don't know how long ago I watched this. It was whenever it came to streaming with the family. "Oh, new Jurassic World, want to watch it?" All right. Yeah, it was another Jurassic World. Freakier Friday. Similar category. This is Disney conjuring up some recognizable thing for the 2000s kids to get excited over, because for a little bit longer, They're going to be appealing to those 2000s kids, and that's me. So, yeah, I watched Freaky Friday on Disney Channel a million times. I have sisters, so that we watched that. And I wasn't going to see this movie without them. I saw it with my sister, my mom, my aunt, and my cousin, which is like the only way I was going to see this movie. We did see it in theaters, and they obviously made this for Disney Plus, just like the Hocus Pocus sequel, and I'm pretty sure there was another one in there too. It's more of the same. It is cringy humor, really hard appealing to like Gen Z, but in the worst way. Like, let's make influencer jokes. Starbucks. They got Hot to Go by Chappell Roan in the soundtrack. Like, you know what you're getting here. Was it nostalgic? I guess. A lot of people hate on... What's her name? What's her dang name? Jamie Lee Curtis, yeah. She gets a lot of hate for being like a Nepo baby and not being good. I like Jamie Lee Curtis, and I think she's funny in basically everything she's in. She's funny in this, but all the humor is just about how old she is. And now in this one, these two switch with their kids. So it's a quadruple switch, which is actually kind of interesting, developing the formula a little more. I'm surprised the Chinese shop people come back, because I feel like that would be a little too racy for 2025, but they did it. Overall, yeah, it's a cash grab. It's a cash grab. But what are you going to do? Lindsay Lohan's back. Jamie Lee Curtis is back. My mom liked it, and my aunt liked it too. That's the target audience, so there you go. 45, Captain America Brave New World. We're still slopping here. We're slopping. This is the sloppiest superhero movie of the year. I'm still committed to watch all the Marvels. I'm a completionist like that. I know we all hate Marvel now, but I'm still doing it. And this was boring. It was boring, and I watched the show. What was it? Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier? The show? Yeah. But I think that was like 3 years ago. I don't really even remember what happened in the show. But it leads to this, and there's Red Hulk, which they spoiled in every trailer who it was. Kind of annoying. The trailer was actually kind of good. I remember seeing the trailer and going like, ooh, that's a little stylish for Marvel. It kind of seemed like a government ops spy movie. No, you watch it and it's the same as every other Marvel movie. What was I expecting? Some action in it. There's action in it. Number 44, Final Destination Bloodlines. Another movie I watched with a group just to clown on it, and it was pretty fun to do. It's pretty fun. Final Destination movies are fun, and this is no different. This one's a little extra stupid because it kind of tries to tie the lore of Final Destination all together. And we haven't gotten a movie in like a long time, like maybe over 10 years. But forget that. You watch this for the crazy, stupid deaths. And there are crazy, stupid deaths. Is it a mid-movie? Yeah, but like, you know what you're getting. You know what you're getting. They try to stop like the curse from moving on to another generation of people, but I'm not gonna spoil if it happens or not. The ending is hilarious though. Number 43, we're moving on to 3 stars. I feel like I'm embarrassing myself here, but Death of a Unicorn, I did give 3 stars. It was a unique idea. The premise is Paul Rudd and Jenny Ortega run over something on the road, like a deer, but then they get out and it's a unicorn. So now what? That's the premise. That's it. And I was like, you got me. I'll watch this movie based on that premise. It's an A24 comedy, so you know it's going to be weird. They're going to have a drug trip scene. But the question is it funny? It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. They got that guy, Will Poulter. You guys know Will Poulter? This guy, I think he's a good comedy actor. His role is very over the top, but I still liked him. Everyone else, Paul Rudd, Jenny Ortega, they're good. They're good. But I wouldn't say this movie's like a great, super great comedy. It's okay. Number 42, Wicked for Good. So I'd never seen Wicked, the play. I only saw the first movie, didn't know what happened next, never got spoiled, except for people told me that the second part was probably going to be worse, and they were right. I didn't know that it was going to actually work so hard to connect it to Wizard of Oz. It's a prequel. It's like fan fiction, but it's still a prequel, and absolutely nothing makes sense in that regard. The way, because you watch the first movie and you're like, how is this gonna connect? There's no way. And then you watch this movie and it's like, oh yeah, there wasn't a way. They just did it, even though it made no sense. I can't really talk about it without spoilers, because that's the whole movie. It's like about how that happens, how that works out. So what else I'll say is the songs, I can hardly name one. A couple of them were new. They were not in the original play or anything, so they added it to this movie. They were all bland to me. They were almost all duets, sung just by standing around. I can complain about the cinematography and the color. I think we all did that last year with the first movie. It looks terrible. And they try to sell it about like, we did all this practical stuff, all these practical sets. We built this train. It's like an actual train. We actually planted this massive acres of flowers to run through. And it's like, yeah, but it looks fake. The way you filmed it looks fake. At the end of the day, that's what matters. And you squandered all the practicality of it because it looks like that. It looks bad. Everybody's so dark. The lighting, they try to go like realistic lighting and it just doesn't. This is Oz. It doesn't need to look realistic, but that's a whole complaint about that. We don't need to talk about that. I'm gonna get a little spoilery. Okay, I'm gonna spoil this. You can skip ahead. I'm not gonna section this off into chapters, but skip ahead until you see the next poster, so you'll know I'm done talking about Wicked. But the way this adds things up, I was expecting hopefully maybe Elphaba would become evil, like the Wicked Witch. It would be cool. I was like, they're probably not going to do that, but it would be cool. It would make sense. It would be about how she became evil. But no, they stick with the misunderstanding thing. She wasn't evil the whole time. She was like faking it. Ugh. Dorothy shows up. I think they legally couldn't show her face, so she's in like a couple quick shots. There's one scene where Elphaba tries to get angry, and then she immediately goes back to, no, but I'm actually nice and misunderstood, and I guess I have to go through with this because it's the only way. The three people who helped Dorothy, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, mostly just them. The Cowardly Lion is just kind of brushed off. He doesn't really have a role here, but those first two, their actual origin story is so crazy. And the fact like the Tin Man is supposed to be like this bloodthirsty guy out for vengeance who literally wants to axe Elphaba with the axe. And it's like, okay, you watch The Wizard of Oz and you're supposed to believe that? The Scarecrow, he's supposed to just kind of be a doof who thinks he doesn't have a brain, but really, he's Elphaba's lover. He's in love with the Wicked Witch, and he's just going along with this crew to get to her. It's like, and this movie ends with them. I'm spoiling the whole thing. I'm sorry, but the melting scene, the scene where Dorothy throws the bucket of water over and she melts. Oh, that was all a trick. That was like a magic. She sunk into the ground and then escaped. So she tricked everybody into thinking she was dead because that was the only way. And then she runs off into the sunset with the Scarecrow. The end. Like, it's the biggest piece of fan fiction there ever was, and it is on the same level of quality as fan fiction you would read online. Like, it's that nonsensical. It is just about like this author who wants to ship people together so bad. It's so funny, but it's ridiculous. And I don't think this movie is well written, and the music is not very good, and it doesn't look very good, but it sure is a time. Number 41, K-pop Demon Hunters, the freaking movie of the century, the most popular thing on Netflix ever. Probably just because little girls are watching it on repeat, but it's an okay movie. What I liked about it was they didn't try to do the origin story. I was ready to be like, ugh, here we go. They're gonna learn how to sing, and then they're becoming K-pop idols, and then they're gonna learn that actually they come from ancestors who need to fight demons, and they go like, huh? Demons? We can't be doing... No, they don't do any of that. The movie starts off with them actually like killing demons, which is kind of cool. They don't explain... Well, they do, but it's not an origin story, which I was happy about. It's still pretty cliche. It's still like, okay, a character has a secret. She's too afraid to tell the other girls. I wonder if that's gonna come out at the wrong time. I wonder if there's gonna be a misunderstanding. Yeah. The music's good. Music's better than Wicked for good. And I don't like K-pop. But you know, I was jamming to Golden. I was jamming to the boys song with the what's the boys song? K-pop Demon Hunters boys song. Soda Pop. That's the one. Soda Pop. Soda Pop. Something like that. Number 40. Tron Ares. Another Tron movie. Crazy. We haven't seen one since 14 years ago. And I was never a Tron guy. I watched Tron. I didn't even see Legacy in theaters or anything. I saw it years later. I think I played Dream Drop Distance before, because Tron Legacy is in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. But I watched Tron first, the old one, and I was like, yikes, this is really boring. And Legacy was kind of cool, but it did start Hollywood Legacy sequeling, which is one of the most annoying things that Hollywood does. So we can thank that movie for that. But what's Ares? Ares is in a whole new era of Hollywood where they reboot stuff kind of the same way, but a little different. Tron Ares does have the cameo stuff. It does have the object that the characters look at and go like, remember this from the other movie? It still does that. But now it's Jared Leto. And he sucks. Everybody hates him. And he's not good in this. Greta Lee is like the actual main character, who is also... I like her, but she wasn't very good. But it's because the dialogue is so corny. It's so lame. The way they talk to each other is like, they fly now? They fly now from Star Wars. It's all that. It's all that kind of thing. It's so old, but I think it's better than the original Tron, but not Legacy. You watch this, let's not bury the lead. You watch this movie for the Nine Inch Nails soundtrack. That's why I did it. I saw it in Dolby for that reason, and it slaps, man. It slaps. I know we all love the Daft Punk of Legacy, but I didn't get to see Legacy in the theater. The Nine Inch Nails one and this one. Whoo! It's cool. It's cool. It was worth seeing for the soundtrack in theaters, but it is just, it's Tron. Of course it bombed. Will we get another Tron? Who knows? Number 39, Honey Don't. So one of the Coens is off, the Coen brothers. He's off doing his own thing with his wife now, and they're making like lesbian slop. I didn't see the first one, which is called Drive Away Dolls. This is Honey Don't, and it's a same kind of deal. Margaret Qualley in the same time period, driving cars, being gay. That's like the movie. It's just like another one of those. And like, it's a sort of mystery. So you intrigue me with that. She's a private investigator trying to figure something out. Chris Evans is like this mega church manipulator guy. He's pretty funny in that role. But the thing with this movie is that nothing kind of happens. It doesn't even feel like there's a plot. Oh my gosh, look at this rating. 2.3 is the average. I rated it higher than most people. Not a lot of love for this movie. Here's McCall saying, very frustrating. Even the most beautiful woman could not save this film. It's just like, it's like they forgot to put in a movie almost. Like it's a series of scenes and there's a couple of really funny parts. The guy from Always Sunny, Charlie, is a cop. And he has like a couple of scenes where he just is a stupid cop. And it's funny, but like, where's the plot? It's weird. It's so weird. It just kind of ends and you're like, oh, okay, I guess they wrapped up the conflict. I might have this rated too high, but then I'm thinking about the movies I just talked about, and it's better than all of those, so I don't know. It doesn't feel quite like a Coen Brothers movie either, so I don't know if I'd even recommend it in that way, because it's not. It's half a Coen brother. One brother. Number 38, Materialists. This is the new Celine Song film. She did a movie called Past Lives, which was a romance. Really good. That's a great movie. And this is another one. The Past Lives was so genuine. Like two people trying to think about their past lives together and whether or not they should have fallen in love, because they didn't at the end, but they come back to each other and they're like, should we pursue this again all these years later, even though we're like all already married and stuff. And this movie is cynical. It's like the opposite, the antithesis almost of Past Lives. This movie is about a matchmaker whose job basically is scamming people into thinking they can find love. So you don't really sympathize much with the main character, but her customers are also pieces of garbage. It's a study about how, specifically New York, this is a New York City thing, which, you know, I can understand because New York is very, what's the word I'm looking for? Materialistic. Every dating profile, everything that her customers say they want is a objectionable, like, needs to be this tall, this skinny, weigh this much, needs to be this age relative to me, needs to be younger than me, can't be like 1 year older than me, needs to make this much money, needs to be this, needs to be that, and it's like, I won't even pursue somebody who does not check off all of my little boxes, and she will be like, you're almost 40. I don't know about these boxes. You might have to nope. I need to find the perfect woman, the perfect man for me. That's your job. And it's like, wow. So I kind of just hate everybody. Everybody sucks in this movie. But that's the point. And it's really about her finding love. You can see these two on the cover, Pedro Pascal and is that Chris Evans? Yeah. Chris Evans is like the guy who has nothing together. Deadbeat. But like genuinely in love, the two of them, and they knew each other from the past. Pedro Pascal is this tall, successful guy who she just meets, and he picks her up and goes like, well, we're gonna be together now, and she's like, haha, okay, and she has to choose between them, and it's like, well, I feel like this is a very cliche, predictable thing. So it starts off with kind of a cool, different angle, like a commentary, and then it ends up being a little bit cliche. So I didn't like it that much. It was pretty good. It's 3 stars. It's 3 stars. Check out Past Lives before this one for sure. Number 37, F1. Dad movie. That's a dad movie right there, bro. So you know I took my dad to see this movie. He loved it. I was like, it's pretty good. It's good. This is good. it didn't quite make 3.5 for me because it was a little generic. It's very long, and it is a sports movie about a guy who's a little old for the sport, but he has one last ride in him. Can you imagine the whole story kind of coming together from that? Probably, but it's cool, and the way it was filmed was really cool. It's a beautiful movie. I think I saw this in Dolby too, so it was really cool to see. I wasn't like super bored ever, but it was a little long. It was feeling the length a little bit by the end. Brad Pitt's cool. Javier Bardem was great in it. Oh, look, it's Ralph the Movie Maker. He says essentially Top Gun Maverick with Formula One cars. See, I wouldn't go that far. Top Gun Maverick is really fun all the way through. This is not quite that. Brad Pitt, you're not Tom Cruise. You're not Tom Cruise when it comes to blockbuster. For me, personally. But yeah, not much to say, but it's good. It's good. Number 36, Mickey 17. This is Bong Joon-ho's movie coming off of Parasite, which was, I think Parasite was maybe a 5-star for me. And this is a mess, this movie, but it was cool. I'll give him that. That's why it's got 3 stars. I think this was a blank check movie, like so successful after Parasite that they were like, do whatever you want, bro. So he made this bizarre sci-fi movie about a guy who gets printed. His job is to die and get reprinted. And I think Mickey 17 is the 17th one who doesn't die when they thought he died, so they print a new one, and then there's 2. And it was like, uh-oh, now they're gonna like fight over who gets to live or whatever. But it's not really about that at all, which was the surprising thing. It's really like a commentary on, there's a lot of Trump commentary. Didn't expect that. Commentary on the way the government works and the way people are treated and elitism and stuff. It's a lot about that, which I guess coming off Parasite makes sense. But the way it's so heavy-handed with it was a bit much. Like, Mark Ruffalo basically plays Trump in this movie. Like, he's doing an impression the whole time. And it's weird. It's a little long. It kind of overstays its welcome because it jumps from plot to plot. And it's very weird and sci-fi. But at the end of it all, it becomes about these little bug creatures. It was a lot. I would check it out if weird sci-fi, and if you're okay with the heavy-handedness of the commentary. And Robert Pattinson is having a ball with it. Number 35, Die My Love. Lynn Ramsey. I've never seen a Lynn Ramsey movie. This is my first one. This was something. Jennifer Lawrence is giving it her all as a mom who is going insane. She plays that so well. And Robert Pattinson's in this one too. And he plays the husband who's an idiot and just trying to get by, but like she's going crazy and he's not supporting her in any way. So they both spiral. I think this is about like the parts of motherhood that don't get talked about a lot. How you can go crazy from it if you don't have the support. Like these two, she's basically alone. Robert Pattinson is not helping her an iota. He sucks. And she probably has mental problems already, and that is just getting exaggerated. But this is one of those artsy movies where it feels like there's not really a plot. Like what I just explained to you is the entire movie. It's just a scene of her doing something crazy, and then another scene of her doing something crazy, and then more of that. And it's like there's not, I guess that's the conflict, but there's not really a conflict. I would consider this an art house movie because of that. I think the average person will not enjoy this. You need to be looking for an artsy movie to think about. Otherwise, you're going to be like pissed at the end of this viewing. Because it also just kind of ends without much of a resolution. But gosh, Jennifer Lawrence is so good in this. I think this is the best I've seen her acting. Robert Pattinson is also really good. But I don't want to watch this again. You know, it didn't do much for me. I think I got the message. I think you could tell me if I didn't, because I'm not a Lynn Ramsey fan. I don't know her style and stuff. But it was kind of miserable and not a lot of plot. Just misery. One of those misery movies. So if you're into that, go ahead. But you know what was a little better? Wallace and Gromit. What is this, number 37? No, number 34. Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul. I don't know. It's hard to rank all these different, drastically different movies together. I just love Wallace and Gromit. I love stop motion animation, so that's why this elevated it. We've hit the 3.5 stars with this movie. This is a half star better than Die My Love and all those other movies, apparently. So yeah, I always have a soft spot. And the fact they're bringing the chicken back. He's not a chicken. I'm thinking of Chicken Run. But they bring him back, and there's a couple funny jokes. Honestly, though, a lot of the jokes are cringe. A lot of the jokes are pandering. And I was expecting more from this movie. I figured people who love Wallace and Gromit are kind of old. When was the last Wallace and Gromit? Was it Curse of the Were-Rabbit? I think I saw that in theaters as a kid. So like, Wallace and Gromit is a classic. Kids don't really know or care because they haven't done anything with that brand. So I thought this would be targeted more towards adults. Not like an adult movie, but just more clever. But this felt like a kid's movie. I was watching it going like, oh, I don't know if this was made for me. I thought it was gonna. Just a lot of easy jokes, you know, not stuff that I was hoping for, and it kind of is on par with what Aardman has been doing in the past 10 years. I thought they would change up to bring back Wallace and Gromit. It didn't feel like that grand of a comeback. It just felt like kind of more of the stuff they've been doing. Like Early Man and Chicken Run 2 are same thing. Just, it's a Netflix movie. It wasn't that good, but the stop motion animation, and gosh, the Wallace and Gromit curve gave it that 3.5, but not my favorite animated movie of the year. Number 33, The Naked Gun. I love The Naked Guns. I love Airplane. I love, what's his name, Leslie Nielsen? So I had to see the Naked Gun reboot with, also like, come on. Qui-Gon, what's his name? Liam Neeson? Perfect casting. Perfect. You could have got like, gosh, imagine if they got Jack Black or something. That would have sucked. No, you get this like serious guy who can deliver deadpan. That's what it's about. And there are some great jokes in this movie. Some not so great. But you could say the same for the old Naked Guns. Let's not sugarcoat it. Let's not nostalgia goggles it. There were some stupid, unfunny jokes in the old Naked Gun movies, but also some clever stuff. I honestly think this matched like this, just about the same level of stupid and, oh, that's actually clever, haha. But you ever watch a movie and you think like, man, if that was just delivered a little differently, or if I was directing this, I would have done that. And the joke would have landed a little better. This was one of those movies where I'm watching it like, could have changed that. Would have been funnier. Would have been funnier. But who am I to say I'd do better than Akiva Schaffer? I'm sure they know what they're doing. But yeah, it's good. It's a good Naked Gun movie. Considering how these Hollywood reboots usually are just, they offer nothing, I think this is one that is worth it. Totally worth watching. So there you go. Number 32, Mountainhead. This is Jesse Armstrong. I watched this because it's the guy who made Succession, one of my favorite shows of all time. Amazing show. Hilarious. Really dramatic and well directed. Great writing. Amazing characters. I love everything about Succession. So this guy's making a movie? Okay, sure. And it was not nearly up to par, and it was also a little too familiar territory. Succession and this movie are both about exhaustingly annoying rich people. And it's a commentary on the rich people have so much and they act like they're gods among men and they can do whatever they want and it doesn't matter and they're bad and they're greedy. Yeah. So aside from him staying in there, it starts to be like, are you making commentary on this or do you just love this? Do you just like dream of having this lifestyle because you're like circle jerking it at a certain point? Like, yes, all these characters suck and they're bad and we're supposed to hate them, but it gets to a point, you know? I like Steve Carell in this. So all these guys meet up in this ski resort that one of them owns privately, and it's like a getaway weekend to try and each one of them has like a snaky goal, trying to butter up somebody else to get some money out of them for a partnership. It's all that stuff. And in the background, they're all on their phones, and there are world crises happening. There are some direct influences about stuff that was going on like a couple of years ago, like riots. And like, pretty sure one of them's supposed to be literally Elon Musk. They're talking about AI. They're talking about all the stuff. And whereas Succession gives you some humanity, because it's a whole darn TV show, there's some humanity to the characters you care about. And there are some other relief characters who aren't in this elite club of rich people. This movie is like a bottle episode. It takes place entirely in this building with just these 4 guys, and they all suck, and they're so annoying. And sometimes it's funny, sometimes I'm just like, ugh, shut up. And I will say what gave this movie the 3.5 for me was the ending. Like, the third act is so cartoonishly stupid. I didn't think they would go that far, but they did, and I was laughing. So you know what? This is a comedy, and I was laughing a decent amount. I would say check it out. But if you're adverse to that kind of rich people commentary, you're probably going to hate it. But there you go. Number 31, Eternity. This was a cute movie with the cute premise. But like Materialists, I was kind of more interested in this movie's premise than what it actually came to be. This movie is like a sci-fi story. Basically, a guy dies choking on a pretzel, and we find out what the afterlife is. That's a big deal. Like, there's a confirmed afterlife in this world. It is like a train station where everybody gets to choose basically what heaven is for them. There are like little booths, like Comic-Con, lined up, and all these people are trying to sell you. Come to this place. Come to this. You like this? You like this kind of thing? Come here. Come here. And it's weird because, like, how are they selling it? Why is this their job? Because nobody has money, because it's the afterlife. So why do they care so much about selling this? But logistically, who cares? You get to choose your eternity. Now, a week later, his wife dies. Oh, perfect. You have like a week to decide on where you want to go. So the wife shows up. It's like, good thing we both died. Because now we can live together. We can choose an eternity together. Most people don't get to do that. But then she sees her first husband, who died in the war, who's been waiting here in this transition world, this purgatory kind of thing, waiting for her. And now, oh no, she's got to decide the war veteran who died waiting for her, or her new husband who she's spent her whole life with. Who can she choose? And I'm sitting here just more interested in like this world. I want to know about all the different eternities, and they jump a little bit between. You get to like have a couple of visits. There are strict rules about where you can go and stuff, but they kind of, there's scenes where they jump out of bounds almost. They're in places that they shouldn't be, and they're running around and stuff. And I was like, ooh, this is like a cool sci-fi world. But then I had to stop and be like, no, the point of this movie is the romance. This is a romance movie. It just has a really cool sci-fi part, but it's ultimately a which guy will she choose movie, which I was less interested in. It's A24, great production value, and yes, it was cute, and it was pretty funny in like a, that was funny. I wasn't like laughing, but I I think moms would like this movie more than me. I mean, it's a pretty cheesy romance, but I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. Just kind of predictable, I guess, in the end. If you take the sci-fi world building out of it, I wouldn't care at all, probably. But the premise in the world, them jumping through the hoops and trying to figure out loopholes to the rules of this world. They all have little assistants with them. The girl from Holdovers, the girl who won the Oscar for Holdovers, is in it. She's funny. It's a solid movie. Number 30, The Running Man. The new Running Man. I watched the old Running Man in preparation for this movie, and that movie was kind of not good. I was surprised. I thought it was a classic, but I guess considering I never heard much about it, actually, maybe it's not that much of a classic. I liked this. This was a cool action movie. It got so much hate. Everybody I saw who saw this movie said it was crap. It's not crap. It's pretty good. I think it's all reaction to this being Edgar Wright. Now, I love Edgar Wright. Who doesn't love Edgar Wright? And I've been waiting for a new movie from him. And this does not feel like an Edgar Wright movie. I think that's the main issue everybody has. It's like his style. He has a very distinct style. It is not present in this movie, like at all. If I didn't know this was directed by him, I wouldn't ever figure it out. I'd be so surprised when the credits rolled. So I'm like, what happened here? I think this is just a studio movie that they put his name on and he kind of went through the motions making it. Which is a little sad because it also is the type of movie I think he would do really well directing. So like, it's curious. I don't know what happened. That being said, still a solid, fun little action movie. I had a good time. Glenn Powell is cool. Coleman Domingo is the host guy. He doesn't have the anger that the host had in the original, but he's cool in his own right. And it's a different story. The story of the original Running Man apparently didn't follow the book at all, and you can tell because it's not. The story doesn't make a lot of sense. It's stupid. But this new version, the story makes more sense. It's cool. Of course, the premise being this guy needs to run away from the whole world who's out to kill him on a game show in this dystopian world where we have game shows where you gotta kill someone to make money because it's so bad out there and everybody's living in a crappy rundown slum. And the media is run by the government who's making everybody think this way. It's good though. I thought it was funny. The action was good. Michael Cera's in it. I love Michael Cera, and he's funny in it too. Yeah, I think this would be another dad movie. I didn't bring my dad for this one, but I think he would like it. They gave me a poster. There's like a thing where, some movies where if you see it on day one, they'll give you a poster, like in the Dolby. I saw it like 4 days after it came out, and they gave me a poster anyway. They were like, please, we got to get rid of these, because not enough people even saw it. Usually those are sold out day one. So this movie like kind of bombed. I don't know. It's not that bad. I didn't think it was bad at all. I think this is good. This is a solid movie. I recommend it even. But disappointing it to an Edgar Wright fan, of course. But not bad. Number 29, Jay Kelly. This is a Noah Baumbach film, and I'm a fan of his. He makes a lot of weird, irreverent comedies where the dialogue is very realistic and people talk over each other, and that's why I like him. The last movie he did was Barbie. He didn't direct it. That was Greta Gerwig, who's in this. Greta Gerwig is in this movie. That's funny. But he did help write Barbie, and I really liked that. I love Barbie, to be honest. But this movie was okay. It's about this old actor who feels like he doesn't, as the tagline says, he doesn't know himself. He's trying to play himself. And ironically, makes sense, it's George Clooney, an old actor trying to play an old actor who doesn't know himself. And he's going through a crisis, an existential crisis. He doesn't know. He feels like he spent his entire life just working, and he forgot to have a real life outside of that. He was so concerned with being a great actor and being on all these movies, and now, yeah, he's world famous. He can't walk outside without people recognizing him, but for what? Like, he has a daughter who he can't connect with. You know, that type of deal. And then you have Adam Sandler as his, assistant guy. I like when Adam Sandler does serious roles. He rarely does it, but he's good. He and, what's her name? Laura Dern are both his assistants, trying to talk him into hey, you agreed to do this movie and they're shooting in 2 days. Why are you flying to France? You can't do that. And he's like a little baby. They call him Puppy. Adam Sandler calls him Puppy. It's kind of weird, but he's kind of he can't do anything for himself. He was treated as a baby his whole life, and he's still a baby. But he's going through this moment now of trying to rethink his life, but he's old and he's kind of already done it all. I don't think this movie was very relatable. You know, not many people go through this, but I guess if you're somebody who works too hard, maybe you can relate. But Jay Kelly was kind of an annoying guy. He was very inconsiderate, and it was hard to sympathize with him. I get what's going on, but, Adam Sandler tries to take a couple days off to go to his daughter's big tennis match or something, and then one day later he gets called in because he's having an existential crisis and he's flying to France for no reason. So he's got to try and stop him, and he doesn't even pay attention to him when he talks to him. Okay, he's a conceited actor asshole. I didn't feel bad for him very much. He was annoying. And I liked the ending. I think the ending, the final shot was very good. And the final word was a little corny, but just corny enough for me. I liked it. And it sums up the whole thing very nicely. But for Noah Baumbach, I wasn't laughing. It's not very funny, which is disappointing. Usually his movies are very funny to me, but I wasn't feeling it very much. I guess this is trying to be a little more serious, but I didn't like the serious parts of it. I still think it's solid, but not Noah's best, I guess. Number 28, Elio. I got a soft spot for Pixar, man. I'm seeing every movie they make. They get the emotionally manipulative accusations. I get it, but even today, they are the only animation studio that makes kids movies that aren't trash. Kids movies that still have something to say. And Elio bombed. Pixar has not been doing well lately in the box office. Elio is one of their worst performing movies ever, maybe the worst. And yeah, even I didn't see it in theaters, but that's only because people wouldn't agree on when to see it, and we ended up just not. Should have just went myself, but I don't know, seeing a kid's movie yourself is a little weird. So I didn't, but I caught it on Disney Plus later, and it was good. It was good. It's a solid movie. It's Domi Shi, the director of Bao. If you guys know Bao, the Pixar short, it's one of my favorite Pixar shorts. So she got her own movie, and it's about this kid who feels alone in the world, and then he goes into space and he finds out maybe this is his new home because Earth is not good, and he's got to learn that he's not alone. Feel good, pretty basic story, but it was funny. Beautiful animation, of course, as always. And it strays from the Pixar cliches. There's this thing where every single Pixar movie is basically about a guy who's got to do something, but he's got an annoying friend. It's always that, ever since Toy Story. It's I got this annoying friend following me around, and then we're going to learn to become friends over the course of the journey. This does not do that. You see that little slug man? He's not actually like in the movie that much, and also he's not annoying. They meet and they're like best buds right away. There's no conflict there. He tricks basically everybody into thinking he's the ambassador for Earth, so he's like a leader, and they gotta tell him, okay, then you should negotiate with this evil guy who's trying to kill us. And he's like, wait, oh no, I don't actually have experience being a leader in the world. Uh-oh. So it's that kind of thing. Meanwhile, back on Earth, like his aunt who was looking over him, they clone his DNA, the aliens, and they go like, oh, well, we'll just have a clone take your place. And there's like a B plot where his aunt is just like, why is my kid so normal? He's normal. At first she's like, oh, this is great. But then over time she's like, something's up. And there's like creepy scenes with him that are really funny. It's good. It's a good movie. I liked it. I rank all the Pixar movies. It's average. It's average compared. I mean, Pixar has very high standards for me. I did like Elemental a little bit more. I know people are going to roast me for these rankings. I'm not even going to show the top. Just chill on that. But I gave it number 18 out of 29, which in my opinion is still good because it only starts getting really disappointing, I guess, at like, oh God, Bug's Life is 22. Forget this. Cut this part out of the video. Number 27, The Smashing Machine. This is a weird one. So the Safdie brothers, just like the Coens, broke up well, they didn't break up, but they're just doing their own thing. And both of them released a movie this year. This is the first one. This one is not as good. We'll get to the other one later. But this whole movie was basically a vessel for The Rock to get an Oscar. And you could tell right from the trailer. It's like, oh, he's not even introduced as The Rock or Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Just Dwayne Johnson is this guy, the Smashing Machine. And the makeup you can see right here, I mean, the makeup's crazy. Give it the Oscar for best makeup, I guess, because it is wild. And they are sweating, pouring sweat in this movie, and it still looks totally real. Looks like a different person. It's super cool. But is The Rock an amazing Oscar winner? No. And especially if he's going up against the other Safdie movie, if that's the competition. No, he's not getting the Oscar this year. Sorry, Dwayne. He is not amazing in this role. He's okay. Emily Blunt is really good as his, like, crazy wife. But if you're looking for the Safdie style, it's not so much here. It is a little bit. The handheld cam and the stressful shakiness, a little bit here and there. But the story is a generic sports rise to fame movie. He gets into drugs. He abuses the drugs. He has a major downfall, and then you fight like in the championship at the end. You've seen it. You've seen it before. There's not enough style here for it to be an all-time great, but it's good. It's enjoyable. Good drama. Great acting for mostly Emily Blunt. And honestly, just watching it, like, I can't believe that's The Rock. I can't believe that's The Rock. That's what I kept saying the whole time. Number 26, Friendship. Yeah, A24 comedy. So you know it's going to be weird. But we got another one way back then. It was Death of a Unicorn, which was towards the bottom of the list. This was a lot more funny. This was a lot better. I mean, you got Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd. What a combo. What a duo. But the A24-ness comes out a little in this movie, in that it's a little meandering and kind of just weird stuff. A lot of weird stuff happens and then it ends. Plot-wise, look at the description. A suburban dad falls hard for his charismatic new neighbor. That's about what happens in the movie. That's basically it. He becomes obsessed with being friends with Paul Rudd. It's all cringy, awkward comedy, and it's good. It's very funny. Tim Robinson is just a maniac. As usual, he's just a crazy person, and he gets progressively crazier, tries doing weirder and weirder things, ruins moments. He has a whole family that he screws over in the process of just trying to get Paul Rudd to be his friend. Connor O'Malley makes an amazing appearance in one of the best parts of the movie. And there's a lot of surreal comedy as well. It's not just awkward, it's also like trippy. There's a drug trip sequence. It's one of my favorite parts where he like pays a bunch of money to go on this high, and and this dream sequence begins, and you're like, oh, this is gonna be weird, this is gonna be crazy. And he goes to Subway, and Paul Rudd is the guy behind the counter, and he's like, oh, can I have like a bologna sandwich with this? And he's like, all right. And then the trip ends, and he wakes up, and he's like, was that it? And the kid who sold him the stuff is like, yeah, you were out for a while. He's like, I just got Subway. And you know how he delivers his lines always, so I can't do it justice, but it was great. I recommend this movie. Just be prepared for not too much of a plot. Want to pause for a bit? This is the halfway point, halfway show we got here. I don't know why I like putting a halfway show in my big rankings, but I also want to talk about TV real quick. It's not going to be quick. Let's just do it. Here are some shows that I watched this year that I will recommend or not recommend, depending. What's going on with the green screen? Why am I'm dissolving. I'm passing away. Common side effects. Oh, am I going to get copywritten for this trailer playing? Here. Common side effects. This was a surprise release from Adult Swim. Not like just a bizarre comedy that they usually do. This is a procedural drama. It's also a comedy. I mean, it's funny. I think it's by the guy who did King of the Hill. Also weird, right? They discover this magic blue mushroom that just can heal anything. No matter what. Brain, Alzheimer's, broken, severed arm. It heals anything. And so the implications of that happening in the real world that's basically a commentary on that and big pharma. The government tries to stop them. The businesses try to stop them. The girl is like an assistant for a CEO who's a horrible guy, and this guy is the guy who discovers it and tries to protect it. And it's a good drama. Like, there's some good dramatic moments for an Adult Swim show. You don't ever get that, which is cool. So it's funny and good drama, so you get both. Good animation too. Like, it's not just totally stiff, again, like you expect from Adult Swim. It's just weird that this is Adult Swim. And there's the different parties conflicting, the government, the CEO, this party who, you know, she's got to deal with, am I going to work with him, or am I going to give this to the CEO and like make $1 billion? And then he goes to like his grandma, who he thinks he can trust, and then he cannot trust. And everybody who like learns about the mushroom starts going after him, and they're like traveling across the country, running from everybody. It's like it's exciting, it's fun, and I'm pretty sure there's a season 2 coming because the story is not over. And I think the implications of using the mushroom is going to come into play later, because you always get a drug trip when you use it. You see these little guys popping up, these little white little things. And, you know, when people just abuse it, they take a bunch of mushrooms. We don't know the side effects, the common side effects yet. We don't really know. So I'm excited for a season 2, seeing where they develop this story. It's good. Win or lose. Told you I'm a Pixar guy. This is Pixar's first series. So I was very excited to check it out. And this is better than Elio. It's better than a lot of stuff they've done in recent years. It's got passion. It's got passion. It's got good messaging. It's got stylized animation. I was a big fan of this. It centers around a big baseball game in like a middle school, and every episode focuses on one character, and they all end up getting to the game at the end. And it's one of those things where like you watch the first episode, and then you see characters in the background doing something, and then a couple episodes later, you get to see what those characters were up to and how it lines up and how one thing related to the other thing. I like those kinds of stories. It's good. But every episode is like a personal, almost mental illness that he goes into why the character is the way they are. And it even gets into the adults. So you have this kid who's like the daughter of the coach. But then you have the coach gets his own thing. And the ump, this guy gets his own thing. And everybody has a little, really, it's like a mental problem that gets incorporated into the animation and the story. So this girl has extreme anxiety and her little sweat glob becomes personified and messes with her and stuff. There's one character who has like a stylized, I think it's like a 2D animation where you go inside her brain and she tries to jump into other people's brains. This guy's just like crazy. You can tell. Yeah, this was good. This was just, I recommend it if you got Disney Plus. Ironheart. This is not in a ranking order. I'm just kind of shooting off whatever I saw. This sucked. This was slop. This was one of the worst Marvel things I've seen in years. It was just generic, cringy, boring. And it got I'm highlighting it because it's Ryan Coogler. Like, he's good. He did good this year. We're going to get to that later. But this, no. Just don't watch this. Peacemaker, season 2. James Gunn does it again. What does he do? He gets a wacky crew. And he makes a wacky crew go on surprisingly emotional adventures. And you love the characters. And it's very funny. And there are twists and turns. And now that he's in charge of the DCU, things are happening with this show. This show's going to play into things later. I'm watching. I never really cared about DC, but I'm watching this because I feel like they're going to be doing better than the MCU soon with just the fact that they have one guy in charge. That's all you really need. A creative, passionate guy who wants to explore these characters in this world. And this was just very fun. I think season 1 has a little bit of spark that this doesn't quite have. But most of the good stuff is there. Man, like, just watch the intro. There's an intro where they're all just dancing in like a stage sequence, and that happened in the first season. And the second season, they just do like a totally different dance with a new song. And it's like, they didn't have to do that at all. They didn't even need to be an intro. They don't do intros anymore, but this was like, nah, we're doing an intro where everybody does this interpretive dance. I love it. Tim Robinson's back. The Chair Company. From the creators of I Think You Should Leave. If you like his sketch show, that I Think You Should Leave, this is kind of more of that. Many have said this about this show. It feels like an I Think You Should Leave sketch stretched over 10 episodes or 9, whatever it was. It's a bizarre show, a bizarre comedy that feels like sketch, but it's not. Mostly it's a parody of prestige TV, and the fact that it's on HBO makes it so much better. Because they're the kings of prestige TV. Basically, one way or another, this guy has a normal life that gets turned upside down when he discovers a big secret. And he's got to hide the big secret from his family so they don't find out, but he's got to pursue it. He goes out late at night. The wife doesn't know where he is. He's pursuing the Chair Company, who's got a big conspiracy about the chairs are being used to smuggle things in and out of the country or stuff. And it gets weirder and weirder and weirder and more over the top until the finale, which is just like it. I'm not going to spoil it. Forget it. But yeah, if you like I Think You Should Leave and that type of comedy, this is that in a different pair of shoes. Recommend. I hope we get a season 2. Okay, I got 3 more. And this is going to be top 3. I think this is my 3rd favorite. Pluribus just ended on Christmas. Final episode came out of season 1. And this is the talk of the town right now. Do you love it? Do you not love it? I think if you're an appreciator of good TV, you like it. If you're interested in the slop, no. Okay, so the conversation around this is being treated like that. Like, the people who don't like it are like, everybody who likes it is being prestigious and annoying. This is not a good show. It's boring. And the people who like it are saying, the people who dislike it just don't understand good TV and they want everything to be Stranger Things and they don't want to think about it and they're dumb. That's kind of the conversation, but I feel like there is a middle ground there. I mean, this show advertises right on the cover from the creator of Breaking Bad. And Breaking Bad, this is not. Vince Gilligan is trying to do something totally different. And it is, but you can tell the directing style, the way he holds on shots, the way he observes inanimate things to establish a scene and stuff like that. And even the dialogue, it's very Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. But it is so low action. That's what's causing the rift. Breaking Bad has some slow moments, but also some episodes where they do a whole train robbery or something, uncover the whole drug cartel. It always builds up to an explosive finale. This show does not do that. This is one season so far. It's getting a season 2. Excited. But basically, the craziest thing that could ever happens in the first episode of this show. And then the rest of the show is just the fallout. It's just like, well, what do we do now? And it doesn't even really build up to anything. So I understand why people don't like it. I watched the finale with my dad, who is he doesn't like exploring new things. He likes things to be standard, easy to understand, and just basic through-line entertaining. So he did not really like it. However, every time I watched an episode with him, we had a whole discussion about it afterwards. This is a show that can get you talking. Even at work, coworkers are talking about this. Like, what do you think this means? What do you think? What would you do in this situation? It's very much that kind of show. What would you do in this situation? I feel like I should explain it. It kind of spoils the first episode. But this show is big. I think people get what it is. Basically, a hive mind takes over the world. In like an instant, it just happens. Everybody becomes the same person, except for a small handful of people who, I guess, are immune to the chemicals that they use to make this happen. They're like aliens they came down to Earth somehow and gassed the whole world. Now, it sounds like, is this like a horror? What's the deal here? Are they evil? And that is where Pluribus gets interesting. Because no, they are not evil. The hive mind actually serves the rest of the humans, like Reese Seahorn right here. She's pretty mad, as you can tell. I mean, given what happened. Understandable. But basically, everybody shares the same mind, so every other human on Earth is walking in unison. They're all working as a machine, an extremely efficient machine, doing whatever they need to do. And if Carol, that's her name, Carol, if she asks for anything, they give it to her. No questions asked. They cannot lie. They cannot cause pain to anything, even a plant. They cannot pick an apple from a tree. They're incapable of it. So you got these interesting moral questions that show up. They're not hurting anyone, but millions of people died during the hive mind takeover because they kind of like lose consciousness. So that, like anybody was flying a plane or something just crashed. But now that they're all the same person, they're all working in unison and they know everything. Everybody knows everything about everything except for Carol. And she meets up with like the 10 or so other people who weren't affected. And they're all just like, well, I have all the servants I could ever want. I could do anything I want. Who cares? And she's like, humanity? Because humanity should continue? And they're like, well, we literally have world peace. Wars are over. Everybody is taken care of. There's no homelessness. Seems pretty good to me. And she's the one who's like, guys, but they're aliens. Come on. This show is all about like the philosophical and moral questions. Ultimately, and they tell her, they're completely honest with her, they can't lie. They tell her they are working on a way to correct this immunity that they have, and they're going to convert her. Not because of evil, but because this is the way. Like this is just, they're like programmed like animalistically just to just like humans and mammals have to reproduce, they must take over. That's just the only thing they have to do. So every interaction that you have with this hive mind, at the end of the day, they're smiling, they're being nice, they're giving you everything they want, but the only thing they want to do is take you. And some of the other characters are like, well, okay. They say it's amazing. They keep telling me that it's amazing to be part of this hive mind. You experience pure joy forever. Sounds good. I'll be converted. And she's like, no, what about individuality? And the whole show is just that. Asking more, learning more about the hive mind, asking questions, figuring stuff out, and going to like, okay, how does this change things now? Oh, they're working on a way to convert me. They say it'll be a syringe, but they can't poke me with the syringe because that'll cause me pain. So they need my consent. I need to verbally say if I want to be converted, so I have that over them. It's her going through everything, trying to figure it out, trying to appeal to these other people. Most of them are not listening. Again, I'm just talking about it. I can talk about it forever. That's why this show is so cool and interesting. You can talk about it forever. Like, what would you do? How does this work? What do you think about that? Ooh, just exactly what you want from high concept sci-fi. Oh, it's so good. It's good. So anybody who hates it is dumb. No, no, I get it. It could be slow and boring at times. I get it. It's not for everyone, but it's for me. My number 2 of the year, The Rehearsal, Season 2. Just gonna say, Nathan Fielder, one of my all-time idols. If I could be doing anything in life, like as a job, it would be what he's doing. This type of show that connects comedy with reality. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of what I like about his stuff, but Rehearsal Season 2 is like the biggest thing he's ever done in terms of that style of comedy. It's silly. It is inherently silly. If you don't know the premise of this show, he takes people who are nervous about something and he constructs a new reality for them to learn how to do a thing. So this guy who was the first episode, the guy who's nervous about confessing something to his friend at a bar that they always go to. Okay, he recreates the entire bar piece by piece in meticulous detail. He gets actors to come in and play his friend. He takes that actor who's going to play his friend, forces a situation where she bumps into the real life friend on accident and interviews her, asks her questions to try and become the character and learn her mannerisms so that he can go back to the guy and he can test things out. It just spirals and spirals. That is like the least of the crazy things that happens. And season 2 just keeps going up. Every episode is like, how is he? What? And it becomes like so existential. It becomes about himself, about his own journey, about what is and isn't a joke at this point. And I don't even want to go through what the final episode of season 2 is, but whew, it's nuts. It's nuts. It's all like real life. It's not a scripted comedy, I guess is what I should say, if you didn't figure that out. It has to do with planes and legitimately goes to like a genuine problem that pilots have and has not been dealt with in the world. But of course, he tackles it from a stupid angle so they don't take him seriously. But he gets an official, forget who he was, but he's like on the board of trustees for discussing plane safety, and he actually gets him to work with him. It's a wild, wild ride. There's nothing else like this. You have to watch this show. That's that. And finally, my show of the year, Severance Season 2. Ooh, this show is peak. This show is everything I love. Apple TV killing it. Got Pluribus and this. I didn't watch The Studio with Seth Rogen. I'm going to watch that, though. But Apple TV has become kind of the new prestige king because everybody else is doing slop reality and stuff. But anyway, Severance season 1 was like 3 years ago, and it was amazing. And season 2 had so much pressure on it. There was a lot of stories about, oh, they're rewriting it. They don't know what to do next, and it was troubling. And then season 2 came out, and it was just even better than season 1. I couldn't believe it. This show, the premise basic is, it's another weird sci-fi show. But when you go to work at this company, your brain switches to a new version of yourself that is specifically existing just to work. So there's like a split personality, and the two personalities never interact. They're totally separate. The innie, which is with the guy who goes to work, he wakes up in the elevator, he works, he goes down the elevator, consciousness goes away. So the next time he wakes up, he's in the elevator going back up again. It's like a hellish existence. But the guy on the outside is just thinking, I never have to worry about work. I just go in and then I walk out and I don't remember anything or feel like any time has passed. That's the basic premise of the show. But you get into the deep parts of the company, what it might be doing, why you think they did this program to keep all this stuff a secret. You interact with the other innies. They try to revolt. I don't know how to go into this without talking too much, because so many cool sci-fi things. It's a little thinky like Pluribus, but stuff happens. That's why I think I put it on top. Stuff happens in the show. Amazing, super memorable moments. I have like specific shots that are popping into my head, and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta like watch this again. It was so good. Amazing acting, and it's funny. That's a key. It's not just straight drama. It's very funny, actually. Ben Stiller directs this. Isn't that crazy? But yeah, talk about an explosive finale. This boils into an explosive finale. If you watched Pluribus and were hoping for a little more action, absolutely check this one out. Some people said season 1 was a slow burn, and I was like, what are you talking about? Like, there's reveal after reveal. It's such a well-crafted, well-paced show, and season 2 continues the trend. You keep learning more stuff, and you get different new moments with these characters and their new arcs that they have to go through, and the worlds kind of get a little closer together, the outside and inside. I got nothing but good things about Severance. I have no issues with this show. It's practically perfect. Watch it. You watch it. All right, back to the movies. Some of those shows were better than almost all of the movies on this list. Anyways, Frankenstein. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein is number 25. Definitely different take. I don't know anything about Mary Shelley's book. I've never even really seen the full, like, original Frankenstein. But I could tell this was a bit of a different take than I think what most people know. It plays around with time a little bit. It shows Frankenstein and the monster separate stories a little bit at times, but it's very stylized. It's very nice to watch. The acting is great. I feel like people were divisive on this. There's like a lot of hate for it. I guess I'm not that invested in the Frankenstein world, so I just thought it was a good movie. I don't know. I'm not remembering too much from it though. I watched it in like October, and yeah, not remembering a lot. So I still think it was good. It's definitely a 3.5 star, but I'm trying to think of like reasons why it's better than the rest. I'm like, I don't know. Just thought it was generally good. Not a glowing recommendation, I guess, but that's kind of what happens. Look, these movies were watched over an entire year. I'm trying to relate them together. Number 24, Superman. We talked about James Gunn a little bit a second ago. And this is his breakout big DCU beginning movie. Thank God it's not an origin story. Superman already exists, but here's the thing. I was interested in this movie because, like I said with Peacemaker, James Gunn is all about wacky, weird crew of guys going on an adventure. Okay, well, he's making a Superman movie. And I know Superman can have the Justice League and stuff, but if it's a solo movie, he can't rely on that formula. And then he relied on that formula again. He still did Guardians of the Galaxy again, basically. He's got the Justice Gang, which is a group of low-tier superheroes who's their own party, but he's also got other people who helps out Superman, and they all become a crew. And it's like, all right, we're doing this again. James Gunn needs a little something different if he's going to be doing the whole DCU, you know what I'm saying? But this was fun. It doesn't change the fact that it was fun and enjoyable. David Corn Sweat is such a good Superman, unbelievable. He's perfect in the role, and there are so many memorable moments, I think, from this movie. One of my favorite shots was the one where he's like yelling at Lex Luthor, and he keeps moving his head, and the ray of sunshine flashes through to him as he's trying to like appeal to his humanity. That's good. Very hopeful, very lighthearted. Such a breath of fresh air after Man of Steel and that whole type of DCU that is killed. Thank God. I love that Crypto's in it. I love that Supergirl is in it for a second. I'm excited for that movie. She's got her own movie. But it's still a superhero movie. It is what it is. You kind of know what you're gonna get. We're in the superhero section. The Fantastic Four First Steps is number 23. I did like this a little bit more. I don't know if that's controversial, but for a Marvel movie, it was not cliche. Well, not relatively as cliche as most Marvel movies. Again, they're not doing the origin. Love it. They're all already there. They're a whole family. And they really play up that family vibe, which I am a sucker for, so you got me there. The four of these guys are great characters, and they're lovely to watch, and they're great actors. Joseph Quinn, Pedro Pascal, even, how do you say his name? Ebon Moss Baccarat. Even him as the Thing. They're all great. And this isn't a usual story about like just rising up against a bad guy. It is about family. It's really about family. No. But like, she's pregnant. Invisible Woman is pregnant. They're gonna have a baby. What does that mean for like the world? This is a world where I think it's an alternate dimension, which is the first MCU movie that is not in the MCU universe that we currently know. But somehow that will cross over with this universe. It's the world that's established, this alternate reality, is genuinely really cool. It's retro future 1960s. So it's flying cars, but it's old flying cars and advanced technology that we don't even have today, but it's styled like it would be in the 60s. It's so charming. That's what this movie is. It's super charming. Charmed me very well. The family got to stick together. They have this baby. Is the baby going to have superpowers? What does that mean? What's going to happen? The whole world loves... That's another thing. The whole world loves the Fantastic Four. I'm getting tired of superhero movies doing the thing where the citizens now hate the superhero. He crushed my car. Urgh. That building collapsed. Yeah, the villain did that. We stopped the villain. And you hate the super... Now the government needs to get involved to try and limit how superheroes get... I'm so tired of that. Can we just have superheroes be like heroes? Even Superman did that. There's like a part where everybody starts to hate Superman. I'm like, ugh. That doesn't happen in this movie. There's a part where it almost happens. But then Invisible Woman goes down to the crowd and speaks to them and says, guys, you gotta trust us on this. We're trying to save the world, and we all need to work together. It's not just us. We need your help. The humans all get involved. I guess they're humans too, but you know what I mean. The civilians. Everybody around the world works together to end up stopping the villain in the end. And it was, again, it's just so charming. They got it. They got me with the Fantastic Four. It was a very nice movie. If Superman was all about hope, I think this movie genuinely made me more hopeful. So that's why I put it right above it. So yeah, if you fell off the Marvel train, check this one out. Number 22, Thunderbolts. Another superhero movie. Still liked it a little more. This one didn't give me like hope the way Fantastic Four did, but I enjoyed it more. This kind of felt like a James Gunn ragtag crew of weirdos together, but it was styled differently because it's not him, and was kind of a breath of fresh air to me. This movie, the reason I ranked it the highest, I think this is the highest superhero movie we got, but the reason is, for the first time in years, this movie feels like a culmination of the MCU connecting to each other. It's no secret that they have failed in that regard since Endgame. There has not been a clear plan. All of these movies have been coming out, these TV shows. None of them seem to have actual repercussions, except for maybe one movie that it's directly connected to, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier to the new Captain America. Okay, those are connected, but that's it. This movie is connected to so many other projects that have been going on since Phase 2 and feels like kind of an Avengers meetup of these characters. And it was heartwarming. They do have a budding friendship. They all hate each other at first, and then they learn to be friends, of course. But it's all because they're stuck together in this like trap that was planted for Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who's like the anti-Nick Fury. And again, you only know about her if you've been actually keeping up with the MCU, which not a lot of people have been lately. I get it. But it feels like, oh my God, we're finally being rewarded for doing so. And that's the reason why I watch the MCU. I don't care about the comics or how they adapt to these characters. I want to feel the connecting story and where it leads. And not only does this movie feel like a culmination of what came before it in this last two phases of the MCU, it also teases more to come genuinely. I know every movie has like a post-credit scene, but this one actually feels like, oh, this is required viewing for the next Avengers. I won't spoil why. They spoiled it. They absolutely spoiled it. I saw this movie opening weekend, so I got to watch the big twist happen before the marketing just immediately spoiled it. So if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say it though. That was an awesome twist at the end. It was really cool to see. Now it's hard to even watch this movie without getting spoiled right before you watch it, but it got me excited for the future. I don't think Avengers Doomsday is gonna be good. I think that's like, there's like no saving that. From what we've heard, it looks really rough. But considering Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts are leading into it, it makes me excited. So we'll see. Thunderbolts was pretty good, but I can't recommend it if you haven't been keeping up with MCU. I think you might watch it and be like, all right, that was okay. Enough superheroes slop. Number 21 is The Long Walk. Now this movie, this hooks you right in with its premise. Bunch of guys are gonna walk. And if you stop walking, get shot in the head and die. You got me. You got me with that premise. That is literally the whole movie, is that. It was a Stephen King novel adaptation. And yeah, the entire movie is on this road. It never leaves the road except for like 2 or 3 flashbacks, which do a little tiny bit of establishing the world. And my main criticism with this is that I want to learn more about the world, because this is a crazy dystopia, right? This is a world where this is a contest. It's a televised thing. It's kind of like Running Man. So like the world is so messed up and bad, and people are so poor and so desperate that they're willing to do this contest, which is like, I think it would be even harder than Running Man. Running Man, as long as you can hide, right, you're good. But every person goes into this knowing that only one of them, it's not just one of them will get the prize, one of them will live. Everybody else will die horribly. So you learn about this small crew of characters, and the main two are driving the show. Cooper Hoffman from Licorice Pizza. He was great. Oh, he was awesome. And so was his friend, David Johnson, who I've not seen in anything else, but he was great. It's really about the friendship that those two have, the bond that they have. And there's a couple other funny guys, and there's like a bully who is a jerk, so you hate him. And the whole movie just progresses with everybody knowing, whatever happens between us, we're all gonna die, probably. So it's just it's all the concept, it's all just the premise, and it's a good premise, and they use it pretty well. But again, just a tiny bit of establishing the world. I wanted more of that because Mark Hamill plays the evil warden guy who's in charge, and he's the guy who kills you if you stop walking. He was great as that role too, but they also hint that he's the leader of America, or at least a very, very high rank, and he has specific beef with the main character's family. And there's some scenes where they suggest reading books is illegal and stuff. It's real dystopia, but we don't learn about it at all. It's just the walk. But I guess that's what you want when you go into this movie, so you get what you want. Could have got a little more. Either way, this is a good watch. This is solid. Number 20, Blue Moon. Blue Moon. This is a Richard Linklater film with Ethan Hawke. So you might know them from the Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, and what is it? Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before Midnight, that trilogy. I have not seen the third in that trilogy because those movies are too much for me to handle. And I want to space them out because I think they're so special. His style is basically the whole movie is talking. It's just riveting conversation between two incredible actors who play off each other so well. This movie works exactly like the Before trilogy, but obviously a different tone a little bit, where Ethan Hawke isn't this young guy who found the love of his life but doesn't know what to do about it. Ethan Hawke is now a washed up guy who is not as successful as his peers, who is crushing hard on this girl that's way too young for him, and she's an actress, and the whole thing takes place in one location, in this bar after they saw this play that she's a star in. He didn't write it. He thought it was slop. He's really pretentious. He's pretty annoying, but he's talking the guy at the bar up about it. And he's like, yeah, okay. Who's the guy at the bar? Bobby Cannavale, or Cannaval, however you pronounce him. He's the bartender. He's cool. He's like, what do I do? Do I buy her flowers? Ask him for advice about how to get Margaret Qualley. It's Margaret Qualley's not. There's zero chance that she's gonna. Come on, man, Everybody's thinking that. But he's a hopeless little gremlin guy. He's kind of creepy. It's based on a real thing, which I didn't know until the end. Oh, the play in question is Oklahoma. Right, I forgot about that. It's Oklahoma, one of the biggest plays ever, one of the most successful plays ever. But he's sitting there thinking, that's slop, that's garbage, that's not real art. Yeah, it'll maybe be popular, but I got ideas for even better things that no one's gonna watch. And so it's about the relationship that general audiences versus real art. Where do you draw the line as an artist? This guy could be doing so much. He has people offering him stuff like Oklahoma, but he won't do it because it's not good enough for him. But he's doing nothing with his life now because no one wants to work with him. And no one wants to pursue his crazy ideas that might be artistically interesting to people who are really into plays, but they're not going to be successes. So he's kind of alone and got nothing going for him. And this is a real person. This is based on a real person that I did not know about, Richard Rogers. Oh, no, sorry, not Richard. Lorenz Hart is his name. I'd never heard of him. So, yeah, interesting story. And if you like bottle movies, one location movies, big dialogue movies that are based on plays, this feels like it could be. This could be a play easily. I think that was intentional. Very good. Number 19, Sorry, Baby. This is a rough one. Rough watch. Not for everyone. It's kind of a depression simulator. One of those follow this sad person around and be sad with her movies. But boy, is it good. This girl's trying to work with her professor to like write a book or something, and he like strings her along until she comes over his house, and then it's kind of spoiling, but this is like the premise of the movie. The most interesting thing, the way they handle this was, it's just the shot of the house, and they go in the house, and then time moves and moves and moves, and you're like, okay, this is way too long, and then it gets completely dark, and you're like, what's going on? And then she just walks out and is a different person, and you like hold on her. There's this incredibly long shot of her driving and like stone-faced, and the rest of the movie is like the fallout of that. This person trying to like find herself after the most horrible thing happens to her, and trying to get back on her feet, and she's got this friend who's like doing super well and has like a really nice relationship and stuff. So she encounters like other men. She doesn't know whether or not to trust them. Like really nice guy tries to help her, and she like won't accept it. It's tough. It's tough watch. But look at the tagline: "Welcome to the world." Oof. Yeah. Okay, this is a good McCall. She's good to follow on Letterboxd. So painful, but somehow still so warm. That really does wrap it up. That sums up the movie. The actress, the main who's her? Ava Victor. Super good at selling exactly that tone. So yeah, I think you can understand if you're gonna like that or not so far. Number 18. Wow, almost everything is a 3.5 for me. But number 18, Weapons. Little mood shift here. This movie was crazy and fun and unique, which is what I like. Zach Kreger of Whitest Kids You Know. Which I never really was into that, but I know what it is, and he's got his own movie, I guess. Horror movie. I just watched this because I heard it was a horror movie that was also funny. And those are like the best kind of horror movies. I don't want to watch a horror movie that's straight horror. You gotta be a little funny with it, for me. And then you get stuff like Get Out and Nope. The Jordan Peele's and stuff like that I love. So, and this is a little bit attached to him because I think they like pitched it to Jordan Peele and his company didn't get it. So somebody else got it and he was like angry about it. It definitely is, if you like those movies, you will like this for sure. It's got that irreverent, actually like laugh out loud humor, but still spooky, which is great. The humor sometimes even, I'd say this movie's funnier than it is scary, but that's great for me. I saw it in a crowd, big theater, packed theater, which is always fun. Everybody's laughing, but everybody's also gasping at the particularly shocking twists and turns and stuff. Great movie to watch in a group. I have not shown this to anyone yet, but I know a lot of people who haven't seen it who will like it, and I can't wait to show them. Especially the ending. You can tell a comedian guy, a funny guy made this movie because it almost feels like the entire point was to get to the ending, which is so stupid and ridiculous, and I won't say what happens, but it feels like this entire premise was written just so that could happen, and it was worth it. Number 17, The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. Gotta support the tunes while you can. This is my animated movie of the year. I mean, they made a 2D Looney Tunes movie in 2025. You got me really hyped right away. But also, it's not even about bugs. It's about Daffy and Porky, the best Looney Tunes dynamic. Oh my god, this is perfect. And then you watch it and the humor is genuinely great. Not every joke lands, but there's a lot of really genuinely funny stuff. One of my favorites is like they explain Daffy and Porky are roommates and they've lived together their whole lives, and they had a dad who took them in, and the dad is this farmer guy who doesn't have animation because like he's animated like the background, like, you know how like this background right here, you can tell how it's drawn differently because it's not going to move. That character is drawn like that and he does not move. It was one of my favorite running bits because whenever they reference him, he's always just in that pose, moving like that. They give like an origin almost to the classic Factory song, you know, that track has its own segment like dedicated to it. It's a movie for Looney Tunes fans and animation fans. In a world where I feel like Warner Brothers is killing this stuff. I don't understand how this even came out. Like what with all that drama about the Wile E. Coyote movie getting like deleted for tax purposes and stuff. It's like, how then this just comes out? What do you mean? And it was sold to like Ketchup Entertainment, which I believe the Wile E. Coyote movie is also being sold to Ketchup Entertainment. I don't know what Ketchup Entertainment is, but they managed to release it in theaters for at least a little bit, and I got to see it. It was a joy. It was a joy. Not like an amazing movie, but definitely recommend it. Number 16, Caught Stealing, the new Darren Aronofsky movie. And, you know, Darren Aronofsky's a take it or leave it guy. Most of his movies I feel like are weird, but every now and then he does like a totally normal movie, and this is one of those. The premise is this guy gets caught up in a whole gang war, basically, between the Russians, the Jews, and his friend who accidentally ropes him in, and he's got no one to turn to, and it's just one of those running around the city trying to get away from all this stuff, but he can't. And that's always fun. I always like that. That's why I rate this pretty high. It is, I wouldn't even say it's predictable. I feel like there were twists and turns that I wasn't expecting, but it also kind of feels like a movie you might have seen before. It was funny, and the action was good. And the acting was good. I got like no real complaints about it, except that it's not something entirely new. But I feel like there's got a lot of hate, a lot of Darren Aronofsky hate, and I think this movie's totally solid. And it has a whole monologue about black and white cookies, which, as a fan, I really appreciate that. I think it's got a little of everything. Like, anybody can watch this movie and have a good time. That's my review of Caught Stealing. I do recommend it. Another good to watch in a group, not because it's super crazy like Weapons, but it's just fun 100% of the time, just pure entertainment. Liked it. Number 15, Ballerina. Although the full title is, I think, From the John Wick Universe, Ballerina, which I hate that trend. IP farming without, like, the main thing people like about the IP, which is John Wick. This is just a John Wick movie, but, what's her name? Ana de Armas as John Wick. And apparently I give this one 4 stars. You know, we're going to lower that. This is a 3.5. We gotta make a more significant jump to get to 4 stars. Because this is also kind of just an entertaining action movie, but it's better than Caught Stealing because if you've seen a John Wick, you probably know why. It's because the action is so over the top, and it's all real stunts and insane stunts at that. I will always love the John Wick movies. John Wick 4 was a definitive ending, but you know what? You give us another one, you base it on another character, that works too. And it takes place during Chapter 3. I'm not really super versed in the lore. The John Wick lore kind of does go deep. And this explains it a little more. And John Wick, you can see it on the poster, so it's not a spoiler. He does make an appearance. But yeah, I think if you skipped this one because you were like, I like John Wick, but I don't know about this one, watch it because it's just as good. It's just as good. There are some crazy things in this movie. Some of them don't even make sense, but it's like, whatever. It's wild. There's like a flamethrower fight where 2 people are like, it's something you don't think of, but I've never seen that before. I've never seen an actual flamethrower one-on-one duel. How would that even work? And then this movie does it, and you're like, oh my God. Apparently, like, that was so dangerous, people actually got hurt doing that one. Like, it was a big story. Like, Ana de Armas burned somebody because she was literally using a flamethrower. Like, it's real stuff, man. That's why you watch these movies, and that's why I'm saying it's just as good. You gotta check it out. Okay, here's the jump we're looking for. Number 14, Avatar, Fire and Ash. You always gotta preface talking about Avatar with other stuff, you know? The cultural impact, let's just not talk about that for a second. Let's just treat this like a movie. It's a banger James Cameron movie, okay? You understand? I used to not care about Avatar, you know, for the 10 years it took them to make the second one. I wasn't caring about it. I liked it when it came out. But that second one was way better, way more interesting. We now have like this family that we follow. We now have this more established villain who's even more villainous. And you love to watch him. You love watching all the characters in that second one so much more. And this one is no different. It is a part 2, basically. This takes place pretty immediately after Way of Water. Not like the giant time skip that was between 1 and 2. And I did feel so attached to these characters in that second one that I was really happy to see them again. And for a movie shot like this, you know, with the CG over their face, the acting is really good. Particularly Zoe Saldana. She is my favorite character. Neytiri is... After this movie, I was like, you know what? Yeah, she's absolutely my favorite. Because she is such a mom, so dedicated to her kids, would literally do anything for them and displays it constantly. But she has to go through an arc related to that too, making very, very difficult decisions in order to protect her kids, and so does Jake, who's also a great protagonist. But then you have the bad guy. I love the bad guy so much. I was so glad they brought him back for the second one. And no spoilers, but he's back in this one too. And it's kind of advertised as we're going to the fire tribe now, just like we went to the water tribe in the second one. Not really. The fire tribe is small, and they are a group of antagonists in this. They're just a piece of the story, but we don't actually move away from the water tribe. It still takes place a lot in the water. There's a lot of the Tolkien, the whale things. I know people were annoyed with how much they focus on whales in the second one. There's more whales in this one, just saying. But gosh, man, a lot of times when you watch an action movie or a big spectacle movie like Avatar or like, Marvel movies, you get to the part of the end where the bad guy fights the good guy, and I just tune out. I always just, okay, they're gonna fight for 20 minutes, and then the good guy's gonna win. Okay. Get this over with, I'm ready to go now. And then it's like so boring, there's nothing exciting about the choreography or anything. That's what James Cameron does right. You get to that big battle third act, and you are still in it. You love the characters so much, and he establishes that bad things can happen. This isn't a situation where they're just always going to get out. If you saw the second one, you know that. So there's real stakes. You actually believe the stakes, and you want to watch these characters truly win, and you love to hate that bad guy. It's great. It's a great adventure. What I'll criticize about this one is it does feel like the same movie as Way of Water. It's kind of the same deal. Like I said, they didn't even leave the water. So the threat that they dealt with in the last movie wasn't dealt with. So they deal with it again. And also the fire people are here, and they're an additional threat, I guess. But it is kind of the same thing. But that doesn't make me too annoyed because it's still super exciting to watch. 3 hours and 15 minutes, and I was in the whole time. It's not easy. But Jimmy C, he's got it. I watched this movie on my birthday just a couple days ago, and I tricked my family into seeing it in 4DX, which is the one with the moving chairs and the spraying of the water in the face when stuff happens. If you ever saw a movie in 4DX, it's very stupid, and I didn't tell them that was going to be the thing, and they were really mad. But it was hilarious. My dad was next to me. He turns over almost like 20 minutes into the film. Like 20 minutes in, he just goes like, I hate this. I hate this, I hate this. And I say, I just laugh, because what am I else supposed to do? And everybody just had to sit there for 3 hours. More than 3 hours, because the chairs even moved during the trailers. Oh my God. I had never seen a movie in 4DX, so I wasn't entirely sure what it was going to be. But that was so, why? Why would you ever want to do that, honestly? Was it funny, though? Yeah. Was it worth it? Yeah. But I'm not going to do it again. Number 13. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. So we're in, the big spectacle movies. I like big spectacle, especially when it's done right. Like Avatar. Like this. Real stunts. Tom Cruise is a madman. He continues being a madman. But I respect that he plants the flag here. He says, this is it. This is actually going to be the last one. It's the 8th. So he's like, that's it. We're done after that. He wants to put an end to this story of Ethan Hunt doing crazy things and getting his friends in danger and saving the world. There's a lot of lore. There's a lot of tying back to the old movies, like the original trilogy even, which I think was cool. I went into this thinking, okay, how's this going to be the end? Because every Mission Impossible is kind of just like a new adventure that's loosely, they barely even reference the old ones. But this one does, specifically the first movie. There's a lot of references. Ones that you might even miss if you haven't seen that one in a while. Even the opening, the classic Mission Impossible opening with the string on the bomb and the music. It shows all the other movies that came before. It making this really feel like, oh, we've led up to this. We built up to this. This is the end. And as you might know, the last movie was written as part 1, but it didn't do too well at the box office, so they removed that part of the name. So it's just called Dead Reckoning. So this one's not going to be called part 2. It's just going to be called The Final Reckoning. But really, it's the second half of that story, which is also the end of the franchise. Now, are they going to end Mission Impossible? Who owns it? Paramount? You don't think they're going to milk it more like they do everything? Of course they are. But I don't think it'll be attached to Tom Cruise. I think Tom Cruise has enough power. This is his thing. This is Tom Cruise's thing. And if he wants this to be the end, it'll be the end. They could make other stuff, but it's not going to be the same. So like John Wick, if you like watching the crazy stunts and the fun action spy stuff, which I do very much, you're going to love this. You're going to love it. It's also very long, like Avatar, but they're going out with a bang. The only thing that's a little stupid is the AI angle. The main antagonist of the first one was kind of an AI. Not the first movie, the previous one, the part 1 of this. The entity, they call it. Oh no, but what if the entity does this? It's like trying to tackle AI, but it's a little bit lost because this AI is not actually what AI is in real life. It's more like this monster that's trying to take over the world, literally. Not there's no commentary on what AI is doing in real life right now. It's just like the boogeyman. And it's stupid. But I still as a fan of the franchise, this was a good ending. I'll take it. Number 12, not really a movie, but it's on Letterboxd, which classifies it as a movie. It's a short movie, but it's a movie. It's 30 minutes. Adult Swim's The Elephant. If you haven't heard of this just came out. It's super cool. It's based on this old game, which is referenced in the poster here, where you fold a paper in 3 spots. One person draws the face, and then 2 lines to be the neck. So that's all the next person sees when they draw the middle, and they have to draw the body. And then you get 2 lines there, and then the next person draws the legs. And they come out with this monstrosity. If you ever played Gartic Phone, I think there's a mode for that too. They took this idea and said, let's do an actual short film with that idea, which is bonkers to even think of in the first place, but even crazier that they pitched this and Warner Brothers said yes. Yes, let's do that. What? Yes, this sounds like it'll be a good investment. This is David Zaslav? Did he say yes, or was he not involved? This is crazy. Like, Warner Brothers is doing all this terrible stuff related to streaming and cutting stuff, yet they give us the elephant, they give us a new Looney Tunes. And I feel like if Netflix buys them, that'll be the true nail in the coffin. And that was kind of what I was thinking watching this. Like, Netflix is going to own all this, and they will not say yes to something like this. They will not understand it. They will kill it. And we're going to lose all this creative fun that we got. Anyway, let's stay off that. So, the three people in charge. The first act is Pendleton Ward doing some crazy thing. And then I don't know how much the other people saw. I think they saw nothing, so I don't know how they were meant to even continue the story. But the second part is Rebecca Sugar of Steven Universe. Pendleton Ward did Adventure Time. And the third one is the guy who did Over the Garden Wall. Pat McHale, that guy. So, I mean, legends, right? Absolute legends. The Cartoon Network people of the 2010s. And the surprising thing is that the story almost works. Almost. The first act is surreal and crazy. The second act feels like it's kind of its own story that loosely relates to the first one. But then the third act, Pat McHale, he excelled it to the next level. He somehow tied it all together to make it make sense. And you could rewatch it and be like, this is like a real story. And they didn't see the other parts of the... How did this work? It's all Pat McHale. He introduces like a bit of lore that makes you believe that his main character is the same main character that were in the other two parts, which is really neat. And this is just a testament to creativity and animation, and it's so cool. It's such a cool thing. It's available to watch on Max, HBO Max. And if you go to the extras tab, you can watch the documentary about making it, which is like 20 minutes. And it's all three of them talking about their process and what they're going to do. And, oh gosh, I don't know how this is going to work. And the producer's going like, why did we say yes to this? I love that stuff too. So I consider it a double feature. You got to watch the documentary after. But yeah, if you missed this, I think it aired on Adult Swim once, probably never again, but it's on HBO Max. You got to watch it. Number 11, we're getting high up now. We're almost at the top 10. Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. Man, I love Knives Out. I love Rian Johnson. All his movies are so fun. They're all funny and entertaining. And Knives Out with Benoit Blanc. What's his name? Daniel Craig is so great as this character. And he's the only thing that's consistent between all three of these movies. And that's okay. I love the tonal difference that all of them have, because this one is really weird in comparison. It's got a lot to say about religion, which is like, what? The silly mystery movie? Who done it? It's about religion? And it is. It's about like, he gets taken to this church in the middle of nowhere where this guy is a priest who was sent there because he got in some trouble himself, and then he was framed for a murder that happens. And they gotta work together to figure out who actually done it. And like the last two movies, you can figure it out, but I can never do it. I can never do it in time. I'm like, man, I was close. I had an idea. I knew this person was very sus, but I didn't know their role. And I'm like, man, I could have figured it out. That's why you watch these, right? To see the mystery. How clever is it gonna be? And this one's clever. I feel like in the last one, it was really hard to figure out. This one, I came close. And I think it's better than the last one too, because the last one was a little heavy-handed it was kind of like Mountain Head. It was all these rich, annoying people in this resort, and they all suck. And there was a lot of direct references to people like Elon Musk, and I hate when they do that. This one was more grounded. It wasn't rich people. It was just people who are abusing the faith. Like, using a higher being to scam people or running away from their problems because they think, God will fix it or whatever. Everybody's a little different about it. They're not just all like the same asshole. They all have their own flaws. And that's what makes it even more interesting to try and solve as a mystery. And it's funny as always. So, everybody kind of says this about Knives Out, but I'm going to say it too. Keep making them. Just keep making these movies. They're so fun. I also want Rian Johnson to explore new ideas, but these movies are so good. I love them. So whatever he does, I'm going to be there. Top 10. Ooh, top 10. We're in the top 10 and we got a good one here. Marty Supreme. This is the other Safdie brother. So big difference in the Smashing Machine and this in the ranking. Yet I think it's only a half-star difference in my rating. The 7 out of 10 or the 3.5 out of 5 is a wide range for me. That's like the average. I know everyone has problems, but ratings are stupid and they don't matter. Okay, that's the idea. Now, Marty Supreme. This got so much hype, unbelievable amount of hype from people. Mostly, I guess Timothée Chalamet is everybody's favorite guy right now, and he's damn good. He's damn good in this movie. I think this will be his Oscar. I think it's the perfect storm for him. I think he's got all the right cards on the table. And word of mouth is really pushing it. I think he's going to win it. And also his competition is good, but I think he can beat him. The Rock's not going to win. Anyway, if you saw other Safdie brothers movies like Good Time or more related, Uncut Gems, this is kind of that movie again. It's so Uncut Gems, it's crazy. It's like the same thing. He's this guy who's so dedicated to one thing. He's a better person than Adam Sandler's character in Uncut Gems, who was just kind of like scrounging around and, trying to even scam people at times. Marty scams people too, but he's pursuing this dream. That's what you got to respect him for. I feel like Adam Sandler was not pursuing a dream in that movie. He was just trying to dig himself out of a hole. And as a result, just making the hole deeper and deeper and deeper. Marty does that too, but it's in pursuit of greatness. And that's the difference between these two movies. He believes he's got what it takes to be the best table tennis player in the world. And he needs to make money to get to Japan to play the championships, even though he lost to the guy that he's going to be fighting in that championship. But as a result, he does step on people who care about him, specifically his girlfriend, who is pregnant with his child, and he ignores her the whole movie. So again, he's not morally great. He's just a little better than Adam Sandler. But if you got stressed out from Uncut Gems and you liked the intensity of that, it's more of that. And it is very good. But it is, I couldn't give it 5 stars because it was so familiar. It's so Uncut Gems. I mean, he's this Jewish guy. They're both Jewish. They're both ignoring their loved ones in one way or another. They both need money and they do stupid things to get there. They have these ideas and they fail miserably and they keep failing and things get worse and people come after him and then other people come after him and then he gets into a really violent situation. It just... Also the movie, you know how the movie opens up, Uncut Gems opens up with a colonoscopy? Like a close-up inside the human body is the opening shot of the movie. This movie also does that. Not a colonoscopy, but an inside the human body thing happens right at the start. I'm like, really? Even down to that detail, it's the same? So, I know this is my top 10. It was a great movie. I recommend it. Just know that it's... If you didn't like Uncut Gems, you won't like this. If you did like Uncut Gems, you will like this, but you will probably be like, okay, this is familiar territory. That's it. Number 9, Bugonia. I am an Emma Stoner from way back. She is my favorite actress. She's basically always been. But ever since she won that Oscar for La La Land, she's just said, okay, I'm going to do crazy stuff now. I'm going to do weird stuff. And I love her for that. She's been with Yorgos Lanthimos, did like 3 or 4 movies in a row with him, and I love him too. These two are great partners. They've been doing these crazy movies, and this is another one. If you saw Poor Things, where she plays like a child in an adult's body who doesn't understand the world and all that. In this movie, she plays a CEO business lady who gets captured by another one of my favorite actors, Jesse Plemons. Who doesn't love this guy? Oh, this guy. And he was also in the last Yorgos Lanthimos, Kinds of Kindness, with Emma Stone. So I love when the creative people, the actors and the directors, just love each other and keep working together and keep making great stuff. This is another example of that. Jesse Plemons is this maniac conspiracy guy who captures her because he thinks she's an alien. That's the premise. She's trapped in this house with a crazy guy. But some seeds get planted and you start to wonder, okay, what if she is? And that's what the movie plays with. Is she? It's all about what's going to happen in the end. Is she going to be an alien or is she not? Either he's crazy or he's not. You never know. Yorgos Lanthimos does weird stuff. And this movie gets surprisingly dark when you start to learn about these characters more, specifically Jesse Plemons, who has like more of a connection to this girl, Emma Stone, than we thought. He's not just a crazy person who took a CEO, because he actually has like beef with her. And so then you're like, are you really just a maniac, or are you trying to like torture this lady because you hate her? And he has this brother who's autistic and is just following his every word because he doesn't really know what else to do. And you're like, okay, so you're like horrible, but I still don't know if she's an alien. She might be an alien. I don't know. It's good. It's a good time. And I can't really say what else happens because spoilers. Number 8, controversial pick. This movie got some hate. Eddington. It got some hate because it's a movie about COVID. And nobody wants to, I get it, nobody wants to hear about that. It's still too soon. We don't need movies about 2020. It sucked. Yeah, we know it sucked. But I'm willing to hear people out. Ari Aster's hit or miss for me. And this one was a hit. Joaquin Phoenix is almost always a hit for me. I love that guy. He's an amazing actor. And he plays this role of this schlubby, dumb sheriff guy who goes head to head with Pedro Pascal again. What a year for that guy, who's like this really nice, spiffy mayor, running for mayor, and everybody loves him, so he's gonna win. And then the pandemic happens, and it's all this commentary about how stupid everything was about that. Not just about how we like handled the disease, but specifically just everything. Everything about that year was a nightmare, and this movie is all that. And it also plays with AI in a realistic way. They live in this place in New Mexico where this AI server powerhouse hydro facility thing is poisoning the water supply to power itself. And yeah, that's just a thing that's really happening in the world. It sucks. I think I wrote a review for this one. Yeah, it felt like the series finale of America. That was my takeaway. It was like so much stuff was boiling in the political social sphere. Up to that point, it felt like it was the final chapter of all that. And that's just stuff that happened in real life. Like there's the George Floyd stuff, all the riots, all the stuff about digital manipulation on media, and you can't trust anybody online, and people are being brainwashed, and all the pointing the fingers and everything. God, it's so like exhausting even to think about. I think that's why people don't want to watch this movie. I totally get it. You don't want to go back. You don't want to go back to that time. But I also think this movie genuinely summed it up. Like, yeah, look at all the stuff that sucked. Look at what we did wrong. Kind of what happened to America. Didn't feel good exiting the theater for this one. But that's why movies are cool. Because they show you something. And this movie was like a mirror to this country specifically. And it's like, well, what do we do about it now? We're like already there. That was 5 years ago, 2020, and now it's just all the stuff that's happening currently, and I don't need to get into it. Number 7, The Phoenician Scheme. This is a Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson. People get iffy on him because all of his movies are so similar. He has the most distinct style of any director. And he goes out of his way to make sure all his movies look so specifically like that. And you know what I'm talking about. The symmetry, the set design looking like a set. And the dialogue being so snappy and direct. And that's where his humor comes from. And it makes his movies kind of blend together, even though I love that style. I love Wes Anderson. This movie felt different. It felt different. It didn't feel like, oh yeah, that Wes Anderson movie. I love that part where Bill Murray shows up and says something deadpan and we laugh. Which one are you talking about? Like all of them do that. No, this one felt like it had more of a grand adventure plot and more character development. I think his last movie was Asteroid City. And that's a movie where it's just a bunch of characters in one spot, but you don't really focus on one or another at a time. It all jumps around. It's just like a bunch of funny situations. And then you're like, okay, what do we get out of this? There's some memorable scenes, but that's it. Phoenician Scheme is a solid movie on its own. Like, I think this would be cool if it wasn't directed by Wes Anderson, but Wes Anderson adds that extra flair to it. Benicio del Toro. Love him. And he's in such a good role here. Perfect role for him. Michael Cera shows up. Love him. Tom Hanks and Bryan Cranston. Oh yeah, I didn't even remember that scene. Tom Hanks and Bryan Cranston have this crazy... It's not that crazy, but it's funny. And it's out of nowhere. Yeah, it's like a globe-trotting adventure where this guy tries to scam people along the way, and he tries to scam his daughter, but the daughter too smart for that. And there's like a real emotional core, because I feel like Wes Anderson doesn't always have that, because the characters are so deadpan all the time that you kind of miss the emotion. You're kind of like, okay, well they're trying to go through an arc here, but you don't really always believe it because they're so dedicated to being like, blah, 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 blah. You know, like Wes Anderson movies. I like this one so much more. It's one of my favorite Wes Anderson movies ever because it has all the stuff I love about it, but none of that negativity. It was actually emotional, and I loved every second of it. Phoenician Scheme. If you missed it, check it out. Number 6. Sentimental value. I was really critical this year. I was not handing out 4.5s. Sorry about that. But again, ratings don't matter. Don't worry about the ratings. This is a Norwegian film. It stars Stellan Skarsgård. You know him and you love him. A unique showbiz movie. It's not really a showbiz movie. But any movie that's about filmmaking, I always love. And this one is about an old-ass director who's very talented and everybody loves him. And his daughter, who was an actor, moved to act in plays and then eventually just quit. He's getting old. He's getting sentimental. He writes a new movie for her. Like, I want you to come back. I want to work with you again. Father and daughter. Let's do it. I made this film for you. And she goes like, no, I'm not doing it. So then he gets Elle Fanning, who plays like an American actress who's kind of in Hollywood slop and is not right with the role, but she's now being cast because she said no. And the whole movie slowly gives you these pieces of this family. She has a sister, they're very close, but neither of them are close with their dad. And they have all these problems with him. Oh, you never did this with us when we were younger. You don't really know us. There's real dramatic interpersonal familial relationship stuff. Generational trauma, that's what I'm thinking. Yes. If you're a fan of that and we all got it, then you might like this one. There's one exchange that really connected with me where she tells her dad, you don't even know us. You don't know how to talk to us. And it's like, yikes. Yikes. But I get it. This movie sounds like it's really just depressing. It's not that depressing, but it is. It is just about those quiet moments. It's a very nice and quiet movie. She is so good. This lady, what's her name? Renate Reinsve? Gosh, she was good. With the micro expressions. This movie is all micro expressions. It's all people quietly talking in room, and you're more wondering what they're thinking while they're saying what they're saying. And you find out over this movie that the dad is making a movie about a mom, and he's talking to Elle Fanning about the character, and he's not even giving her accurate information. He's lying to her to try and get her to be better at acting this role. And it's about this mom who hangs herself. And she's asking questions okay, I'm trying to get into this character. I know she's depressed, but I can't figure out why she kills herself. I'm not there yet. And he goes well, why do you think? Every time she asks him a question, he's just well, what do you think? And then she says something and he goes maybe. And she's all right. I'm dancing around the twist, the spoiler. I don't want to say it, but you can kind of figure it out. You can figure out what the twist is before it happens. And it ends up being a very sweet movie after all, about all that stuff, generational trauma and relationships. It is sentimental and unique. I really enjoyed it. I would very much recommend it. Number 5, Sinners. What's the song from that? I don't remember. So this is with Ryan Coogler. Everybody's talking about this movie. Everybody knows this movie. You haven't seen Sinners yet? Go watch it. I saw it on a whim because I thought it was a horror movie, and I'm not really into that unless it's got comedy. This movie does have comedy. It's pretty funny. There's a bunch of funny moments there. But it's also really stylized and totally, thoroughly entertaining all the way through. I'm running out of ways to describe that. Just a movie that takes you up and says, we're doing all this stuff, woo, and it's fun. The first act is maybe a little slow. Maybe a little slow for some people. But it's all about establishing each of these little characters until we get to the barn where they're trying to put on a show, and at one point it just cuts to these people we've never seen before and is really crazy all of a sudden. I don't want to spoil it, but everybody knows about the spoiler in this movie. I'm still not going to say it. And you're what is happening? And then the rest of the movie is dealing with that problem. And Michael B. Jordan plays 2 twins at the same time, which is always fun. Haley Steinfeld is great. Everybody's great in this. Yeah, you that first act needs to be a little slow because you get attached to everybody. Everybody's got flaws, but they're all lovable. And then they get into this horrible situation together, and they got to work together to get out. And some of them are better at doing that than others. I can't say much more about it, but yeah, it was fantastic. You gotta see Sinners. It was cool. I have already shown this to people, and it was just as good a viewing as I thought it would be, so I can't wait to show it to more. This one's a little cheating, because it's not wide release yet, but I gotta mention it. Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. Been waiting for this for so long. I love Matt Johnson. He did the movie about BlackBerry, which should have been, by all accounts, a boring biopic kind of thing, but he made it genuinely great and funny. And now here he is making the Nirvana the band, the show, the movie. If you don't know Nirvana the band, you might know them from the We Shop channel song. I don't know, for some reason that was the clip that made it. But they had this old web show, and then they got picked up for a real TV show on Viceland. And that show ended with the expectation of a season 3 and a movie, and that was like forever ago. That was like 15 years ago or something. They finally got the movie, and it is filmed no differently than the show. It is a guy in a handycam following them around, doing stupid things, sometimes in public with real people. Love it. I love that. This movie's hilarious. It's the funniest movie of the year. There's a handful of moments where the audience erupted. Now, I did see it in a theater with fans, so that's expected. We got a poster and we got this bookmark. Look at that. It's, I was there. NTBTS Live 25. Isn't that cool? I saw it in New York. They had a Q&A at the end with the guys, Matt and Jay. So I got to see them in person. That was so cool too. And they it was so funny because they were explaining what happened in a scene and how they don't really write much. They kind of let the story evolve, and you can tell. But they go through this whole scene about this thing that they didn't plan for, and then Jay says something like, "You really think they believe everything that you just said?" And it was revealed that he just made up half the stuff he said. He just made up. Matt Johnson he looks like a crazy person. He talks like a crazy person. You think he's playing a character in this movie, like this erratic guy, and he seems to be that way in real life. Unless he's just playing a character all the time. Who knows? But yeah, this movie has all the references to 80s nostalgia and stuff. The plot is loosely based off Back to the Future. But there's only so much they can do because now this is a wide release movie. They can't deal with the copyright stuff. In the old show, almost every episode is based on something else. And they will use the music from that movie or the game directly. And even they'll show the logo stylized. Everything is so based on something else. Specifically, there's a Lost episode, there's a Home Alone episode. So this is the Back to the Future episode, but they can't use all the music and stuff. I think they did use the jingle, the I think they used that. But even better, the opening, it opens with the Chrono Trigger soundtrack, the main theme. The which is you're in for a treat. When you hear that in a theater and the whole crowd is whoa! It was so good. It was such a good experience. This might be a biased review for putting it this high on my list. Definitely check it out. I don't know how wide a release it's getting. I think it's coming out in February officially. But see it. It's so fun. It's hilarious. Number 3, No Other Choice. Park Chan-wook. I have not seen a lot of... Actually, I've only seen Old Boy. Park Chan-wook's movies have been in my backlog. I save them for a rainy day. But this one was out in theaters, so I checked it out. And it was so good. I'm debating giving it a 4.5. Oh, you guys are going to hate my number 2, I just realized. This movie is about a guy who gets laid off because they have no other choice. Oh, they got to because of money. The words "no other choice" gets said many times throughout this movie. The way every character justifies a horrible thing is by saying we have no other choice. Kind of quirky, tongue-in-cheek. But the overall plot is it's so freaking hard to get a job today, which is something I can relate to. And it eventually gets to the point where this guy goes crazy and he decides, I know what'll make it easier. I will research all these guys who are more qualified than me and are more likely to get hired, and I will kill them. That's the movie. It's not that simple. That's not the whole movie. It gets a lot more complex, but that's the basic premise, and it's a great premise right away. So it is a comedy, but it's Park Chan-wook, so it's got the commentary about... You can tell it's got commentary. I don't know what it's like in Korea, but that sounds like what it's like here. They even dip a lot into AI being the reason, or another extra big reason on top of all the other reasons why it's hard to get a job today. This movie feels like a cry for help. It's too relatable. It doesn't leave you feeling good either, I don't think. Even though there's definitely there's a lot of funny moments, but it's still overall, when the message hits you, it's like crap. It feels like the message is, we're screwed and there's no going back. That's what it feels like. A double feature, Eddington and this, is like, just will leave you hopeless. Eddington is like, here's where we were 5 years ago. Boy, did that suck. No Other Choice is like, here's where we are now. Boy, does this suck even more. And yeah, I don't know how this guy nails American commentary so well. I don't even know if he's intending to comment on American society. I guess we're in the same spot as Korea right now because this is damn relatable. However, it's not all one big punching up story either. It's not just about giving a middle finger to the government and stuff. You also know that these characters have flaws. For instance, this guy, and also like all the other guys applying for these jobs, they work for paper companies that make paper. So like it's an obvious obsolete thing. It's a thing that's on its way out. It's not just AI that's taking that. Paper is already, you know what I'm saying? And he gets laid off and doesn't find a job for almost a year. And you find out, like, for that whole time, he wasn't looking for much. He was limiting himself to paper. He was only applying to paper places because he wouldn't give up. He wouldn't do anything else. He had no other choice. Okay, except you did. The company had another choice to not let you off. These people pursuing AI, they do have another choice. They don't have to pursue AI. You have another choice. You don't have to limit yourself so tightly. But it's also about, like, because you don't want to give up. You don't want to do this thing. This has been your whole life. This guy only knows paper. He can do other things, but this is what he wants to do, and this is what he trained to do, so he's got to do this thing. And I relate to that so much. It's crazy. I felt seen in a bad way with this movie. But it's also like, man, this is why I love movies. They can put you in that spot. Like The Mirror with Eddington. Except that was more of a grander society scale. This is more of like oh man, we're at the point where it's like, to get a job, you gotta kill people. What else? I got no other choice. Yeah, it's just like, it's bad out there. Moving on. Number 2. 28 years later. Biggest surprise of the year for me. But after that, after just collecting my thoughts about No Other Choice, I might swap these two because, well, no, let me talk about this movie. This is probably, damn, bro, this is your number 2. Yes, I had not seen the others. I watched 28 Days and then 28 Weeks in preparation for this because, you know what? I like Alex Garland. I don't even like Danny Boyle that much, but I do like Alex Garland. Not all his movies. I remember he did Her. That movie sucked, but I still like him. So yeah, I watched the other 2 movies in prep for this, and they're not that related because it's 28 years. 28 days, 28 weeks. It's pretty close. 28 years is not close. This is a totally different era of this world. What's interesting is the results of the last movie, 28 years ago, was basically that the zombie disease got out. We had it contained. We almost dealt with it. It got out. But only in the UK. And as far as we know, everywhere else in the world is separate. Only the UK is quarantined, and it's been quarantined for 28 years to the point where we've gone back to tribal times. We're living in huts with bows and arrows and stuff, and there's no connection to the outside world, which is all normal society. That's very interesting to me, that world. And it's also like, why didn't they just bomb this honestly at this point? You'd think the government would probably just waste this whole place. Maybe it's just too big. So it's a very dark movie, and it's about a boy and his dad. The boy has not left. They live on this very convenient little island where when the tide goes down, it creates a bridge connecting to the mainland. So there's no zombies on this little island. Perfect little island. All the kids grow up just living in tribal times, fishing, people get food, but you gotta go out and hunt. You gotta get real food eventually. And also just like to get the lay of the land. And eventually it's like coming of age. Now's your turn to go with your dad out to the mainland for the first time, hunt some zombies and stuff. That's how it starts. And you also realize the mom is sick. And what happens is, after he experiences the life on the mainland and realizes how horrible and scary it is, and his dad also kind of sucks, he ends up taking his mom with him to try and find medicine, because there's rumors that there's a doctor out there who can maybe help her out. And the dad's not doing shit. And then once high tide comes up, no one can chase after this boy, and he knows that, and he's doing this. He's got it, his mind set on this. The zombies have kind of evolved to being, 28 days later, introduced the rage virus concept of zombies, which is kind of like Left 4 Dead zombies, which is like they're not brainless, they're not gone. They're just like supremely animalistically angry. Like they need to kill. They need to kill. They need to I need to kill people. They just need to like eat flesh. They're still human inside a little bit. There are moments in the last two movies where they're like, you can see a little bit of humanity in their eyes, but they're like a lost cause still. That evolves to where like it's almost like they reset. I'm explaining this movie a little too much. I do really love the world. That's part of why I like it so much. The zombies in this are almost like animals now. There are different forms of them. There's like big giant slug versions. There's also like alphas, which are these almost Bigfoot looking guys, super muscular and can just like punch you out and then eat you. And it's basically an adventure with the boy and his mom. And the mom can't defend herself. She's like dying, and the kid has the bow. That's kind of it. And he's like, yeah, we're gonna do it. It is a really good, scary, sometimes funny adventure. It's an awesome sci-fi movie. And then you get to the third act, which is what made it one of my favorites of the year. You get introduced to the doctor, Ray Fiennes. Ray Fiennes? Ray Fiennes. He was the guy from Conclave and a bunch of other stuff. He's the doctor, and he's been living with the zombies, basically. Like, controlling them. He found another way around it. He's not killing them. He respects them, and he lets them live. He covers himself in this orange sludge that keeps them off, and he can even communicate with them a little bit. And he plays such an amazing role for him as this hopeful guy who respects nature and is actually working towards potentially saving humanity. And Ray Fiennes' monologues in this movie, oh my gosh, after watching stuff like Eddington and No Other Choice, those moments with him talking about like staying hopeful and the nature of life, the circle of life, I should say, the inevitability of death. He like teaches this kid about what death is in a beautiful but also messed up way. I was just really touched by this, and I'm like, 28, the zombie movie did that? damn. I was expecting like a fun action zombie movie. And this one was really emotionally there. Much more than the other two movies. The first one, 28 Days, is just kind of chaotic action. It's thrilling. 28 Weeks is like a low budget. I mean, Days is very low budget, but it was indie low budget. 28 Weeks is like studio low budget, as in it felt crapped out like a cash grab. Not a very good movie. And then 28 Years feels like a funded indie movie, like with an actual budget and actual passion behind it. Like these guys, Danny and Alex had like a beautiful story they wanted to tell about death. I was like, it was so surprising that this movie touched me. And then the ending is stupid. Oh, the ending is so stupid, but I'm leaving it open. I'm keeping an open mind because this movie was made at the same time as its sequel, which is coming out in 2 weeks as I'm recording this. That's a crazy turnaround. That's like a 6 months, and we got a sequel. There's supposed to be a third one, but they haven't started making that yet, so that's going to be a couple of years probably, but this is going to be part 2 of the story. And even though it was so tonally shifting after all that emotional stuff, the ending is wacky and weird and stupid. But I'm seeing that day one. I'm seeing the sequel to this. I will have to know what happens next. It's called 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Yeah, I don't know, man. It just... something about this movie I love, and I have to watch it again. Have to see if I'm just crazy or this movie is actually good. But I'm keeping it at number 2 because it was... I don't know. It really connected with me. Thought it was really beautiful. I really do. But my number 1, pretty predictable. A lot of people's number 1. One battle after another. And it got that 4.5 stars out of me. Oh, hold on, my green screen. What can you say about One Battle After Another? Paul Thomas Anderson, man. Oh, PTA is one of the all-time greats. And all of his movies are great. One of my favorite directors, absolutely. But this one was one of his best for me. Boogie Nights is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I think that's his number 1, and this will be his number 2. For me, this is his number 2. So that's saying a lot. How long is this movie? It's like almost 3 hours, right? Yeah, 2 hours and 40 minutes. And it is gripping every step of the way. It's about a guy who was a revolutionary. Not like in the 1700s, but in like modern times. And he hooked up with his eventual wife, or I don't know if they ever officially got married, but they became a team. They were like bombing places, that kind of revolutionary, like terrorist. And the first act is very weird. I can understand if somebody is not quite into it after the first act because you don't really know where the movie's going. And it's just like a bunch of jobs that these two do, these dangerous jobs, and they get chased by the police and stuff, and you're like, okay, I don't know what this is gonna be like. And then once Act 2 hits, it clicks, and it really clicks, because the wife is now out of the picture. She like abandons them. He has a daughter now. He forces her to live, because they're in hiding. He's done with this revolutionary stuff. He was kind of a legend, but now he's old, he's drunk, he's high, he's in these crazy shades and a beanie and the plaid coat. He's basically in that the entire movie. And this kid just wants a normal life. She doesn't understand any of this stuff. He forces her to bring this like tracking device thing with her at everywhere she goes, no matter what, because at any moment it could go off and tell her that shit's getting real and it's time to go. And, you know, we're going through life. She's at like a high school dance or something. She goes to the bathroom and it starts beeping. And another lady shows up. Hey, are you his daughter? Yeah. You have to come with me right now. And never come back ever. And from that point on, the movie is a nonstop, unrelenting drama action where he is trying to get to her to keep her safe. The girl who takes her away is like on the team. She's a good guy. But the bad guy is also, Sean Penn, is onto her too. They call him their evil nemesis resurfaces after 16 years. Yeah, like he was the guy they were fighting against, and he comes back and he chases after the daughter. And he, who realizes all this is happening during an average night when he is drunk and high and not ready for this, he has to fumble his way towards trying to get to her first. And it is hilarious watching that. It's got every piece of a movie that I love. Every puzzle piece that makes my perfect movie. It is really funny, but also extremely tense, and also is about something a little bit greater. It's not just a fun action movie, because then we could lump this in with Caught Stealing and Ballerina. No. This is another movie that after Eddington and No Other Choice might actually fill you with a little bit of hope. And that's just the cherry on top. It also feels a little similar to like a Marty Supreme, one of those safety movies where things just keep spiraling and spiraling and spiraling. But it is also new territory. It doesn't feel like, oh, I've seen this before, because the directing style is unique. And the movie is very much split into like different, I don't know if it's even 3 acts, might be a couple more acts. Just because there are definitive lines where like, oh my God, this thing is now changing and we're here now. And now this is the goal. And then when we try to get to that, it's like, well, I thought that would be the end. But now there's this other thing and I thought we dealt with that and this thing's back and it just keeps going. It's such a thrill. I love movies. Fitting title, One Battle After Another, because you think it's over. Oh my God, no, we're still. Benicio del Toro is also in this, and he is so good in it. He's a very wise leader who used to teach his kid karate, so he's like a family friend. But he also like runs an underground railroad for like immigrants, and he goes to him for help, and he's got like all the answers. And even though he's a piece of crap who's like all drunk all the time, he still helps him out because he's a good guy and he knows what's right. I love characters like that. And then it gets into a finale that is so memorable, and I don't want to talk about it because it's so good. I didn't give this a 5-star because I don't give out 5 stars until I've seen a movie a second time. Now, I was I don't know what you call it. I was just like very hesitant to give out higher scores this year. Most of this list is 7 out of 10. When did I start giving 7s? Wallace and Gromit was my first 7 out of 10. And that goes all the way to Caught Stealing. These are all 7 out of 10s that are loosely ranked in order of how I liked them. And then the rest are 8s, except for One Battle, which is 9. And I'm like, maybe some of these could be 9s. No Other Choice should be a 9. But then that would put it above 28 years. I have to rewatch both of those. But yeah, I'm stingy. I think you should be a little stingy when it comes to movies and you really into the whole thing. Because then you get a very short list of the all-time, what I'm trying to say is they stand the test of time. You get a collection of movies that really speak to you and not just a collection of like generally good movies. That's what I try to do. But yes, One Battle. I gotta check that out again. I gotta rewatch all 3 of these. Probably gonna rewatch Eddington. I might not rewatch anything else. Certainly not any of these. But that's it, man. I could talk about this kind of stuff forever. I hope you enjoyed this. This is probably gonna be very long, huh? I even talked about TV shows. Oh, I didn't talk about Andor. Andor was another fantastic TV show. Couldn't believe it was that good. It's a Star Wars show. Star Wars is supposed to be all garbage slop now. And this was just like, it was one of the best TV shows of the year. Was Andor season 2. But again, I can't keep talking. I'm losing my voice. It's 6:30 on New Year's Eve. Ball's dropping soon. The ball's dropping soon, man. So I gotta see if I can get this video out in a fast manner. But thanks for watching. Let me know if you're into this. I'm not gonna become a movie channel. Just let me know if you want me to make stuff about movies every now and then. Because this took the previous video, the top 15 video, top 15 games, took a decent amount of work. Minus like the capturing my own footage part, but I still had to write a whole long script, and it was over an hour. This was off the cuff, so maybe not as well thought out, of course, but maybe a little entertaining in its own way, right? Maybe. If you're into movies, I hope you liked this, and I hope you discovered a new movie to watch. If for some reason you haven't seen one battle after another, you gotta watch that. You gotta watch that. It's gonna win Best Picture. It's gonna win. Mark my words. I saw this movie in September, and as soon as it finished, I said that's winning Best Picture at the Oscars next year. So mark my words right here. That's winning. And I think Timmy's got it for the Oscar Best Actor. I think he's got it. Everything else, I don't know. Please let me know any movies that weren't on this list that you think would be good. Recommend them. I will watch them. It's a lot easier to just pick up a movie and watch that than it is to play a whole game. So I'm very impressionable and open to stuff here. It's rare that I watch 50 brand new movies in a year. So I thought, why not do this? And I hope it opened your eyes to a couple. Anyways, Happy New Year. I don't know when this is going out. This hat might be completely irrelevant. But I will be back in the new year. Talking about Dragon Quest 2. Talking about Kirby Air Riders, hopefully. I don't know when any of those videos are coming out, but I will be working on stuff. But I'm taking a tiny bit of a break right after this vid. I'll be back. See you guys then. Right? See you guys then. See ya. Bye. See ya. Bye.